sikujua. Mimi nilipenduka na mwana hii kasikia.
Nimekuita hapa sababu ya upendo. Ni wakati wa Valentine.
Chua inatokelezea wapi?
Shaishi sasa wewe ni shagi. Trishi Brown.
I dominate.
Hata kuwa na kesi wasichana wetu nikimwatia hivyo.
Hii makasiriko yote ni ya nini?
Wanafanya kazi kwa kisiagi, tunaona nywele yanakaa unga. Na hiyo pa. Funga macho.
Ni nani amekuva?
Babe. The love of my life. Kwani si
Unajaribu kutoka uniwache.
kuna mtu nataka mumu.
Ameona kukamtu ovyo.
Nyagia kuacha kwa sauti.
Umetoa wapi flowers? Boyfriend wangu amenipatia.
Want to enjoy free-to-air digital TV with crystal clear quality? Here's how to get started with Signet. Step 1. If you have a smart TV, you're good to go. Next, connect the aerial to your TV. Now, do an auto search on your TV. Just follow the prompts on the screen. And that's it. You're now tuned in to Signet. Sit back and enjoy a wide range of free-to-air digital channels. For technical inquiries, call the Signet hotline on 0770 572 656.
Tunatambulika kwa mandhari yetu ya kuvutia,
tamaduni zetu, ukarimu wetu, vyakula vyetu, uchapakazi,
na pia kwa sauti tofauti za watangazaji wetu waliobobea.
Libengo niko hapa aka upcoming sponsor. Bila shaka hapa ni kama Pedeshe, ma Deep State, vile cartels.
Tunaenzi talanta za pwani, tunakuza talanta za hapa kwetu nyumbani.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tuko mjengoni kama kawa na wanangu wengine wawili.
Usikose kutegea 103.1 Pwani FM, station ambayo itakupa fursa ya kupata uhondo kamili wa pwani na kuleta Wakenya pamoja.
Pwani FM, tafrija kipwani.
Mimi ndiye Victor. Yeah, mimi ndiye Victor Ulo. Good morning. It's a beautiful Monday. All right. It's 9th of February 2026. Karibu sana. How are you doing? I hope you had a great weekend. Back on track again. It's a new week, new Monday. So I am so sure that you have started it very well and you're up to a new beginning. Karibu sana to the program. This is Good Morning Kenya on KBC Channel 1. My name is Victor Olo. Yes, Man City won, but I didn't like it. Thank you very much. It's okay. But I can still tell you confidently that it's very, very lonely. Jameza. It's very lonely.
Just have your moment.
Yeah. Vivian, what did you say?
It's okay, just have your moment. It's lonely at the top. Very lonely.
It's until we win the league. By the way, Arsenal won the league 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Troy.
Actually, Vicky. It's just a glitch. We were on cloud 9 because we were 9 points clear. But the 6 points is still. Man City has a lot to do.
Exactly. EPL is not. So Vivian, we can all.
Until we see you actually just clinch that cup, we know what happens.
The Bible says, the Bible says, ye of little faith.
So, very good. Very good.
And by the way, I know we have had some glitches before as Arsenal, but this time round, Guinea was a cow.
Guinea was a cow.
Let's wait and see.
Along can Vicky can translate that.
Guinea was a cow. And by the way, EPL is one of the toughest leagues. 6 points is a lot.
Yeah.
Because all teams in the EPL are wako tu sawa.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they're all fighting number one. Man U is fighting to get the top 4 in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Man City are also looking to retain the title. Liverpool, and it's just chaotic. Arsenal sasa ndio tuko hapa bana. We've been there until we need something.
You have battled.
Yeah.
Very true. And also we are heading to the choke point, almost where the league is ending. So what happens? There is a lot of fatigue. There's a lot of injuries. There's out of form.
Yeah.
So Arsenal
so
maintaining is quite something.
So talk of league. So let's talk about the political Premier League in the country.
Yes.
It's 2027. Actually, the drums are beating so loudly. I want to talk about the game plan ahead of the coming election that is next year. I mean, we can never do away with this right now. So
you've actually already gotten us into 2027.
This is it. This is it. The discussion is there. The mood is already there. The politicians have already stirred the waters. So let's talk about the game plan. Who is going to be, given the biggest stake where? Okay, whose name is being called? Savula, deputy governor of Kakamega, yesterday said that President Uhuru Kenyatta should just stay away. He's lying to Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka. That is one thing. So let's talk about almost all those things that is in between. I'm talking with Innocent Musumbi. He is a political and economic analyst. Duke Mainga, political analyst. He's also the chairman of the Commodities Fund. And finally, I'll be having Daniel Jumo, the Africa Regional Representative for the Global Peace Foundation. The three gentlemen will be here at exactly 7. A lot of politics will be discussed. Cynthia, Vivian.
There's a lot to be
Very
discussed. Nice. Matters politics, and away from politics, today being a Monday, we usually talk matters family, and today will be no different. I actually have a book with me here. Its title is The Cry of Aging Parents, and this is going to be our discussion today. The Cry of Aging Parents. I actually want to read just a small bit from the author, and the author says, how comes, it's a question he's posing, how comes that 2 parents are able to take care of 10 children, but 10 grown-up children are unwilling to take care of 2 aging parents? This is a billion-dollar question. And the author is Samuel Irungu Njao, and he's going to be part of the panelists that we'll be having on set discussing this conversation. We'll also have Bishop Jeremiah Palanya, and he is the Bishop for Hope for All Nations Churches, Naivasha. We'll also be having Pastor Paul Blessing, who's Director Star with Paul. They're going to be here so that we just try and unpack this. Do you think that we are now neglecting our aging parents? Is it an issue of generations, or where are we going wrong, and what exactly is happening? Are we going to get to a point where we take our parents to those aging homes like it is the usual in the Western world? So is that where we are headed? Please make sure that you get to listen into this conversation. It will be coming later on the show. Mike?
That is a very interesting question, because the key word there is unwilling. It's not incapability, it's unwilling. And that carries a lot of weight. And it's an interesting conversation that I invite you to tune in and find out more on it, as well as other conversations that will be happening right here on Good Morning Kenya. Welcome to the program. My name is Mike Migwe, and I want to remind you something. When people try to bury you, just remind yourself that you are a seed. When people try to bury you, remind yourself that you are a seed. That is a quote by Mashona Liwayo. Good morning, Ben.
Yeah, and from seeds to politics to neglecting parents, a lot is happening in the news world. And the president says that in the next 15 years, we'll not be having any slums in the country. Well, do you think that's a pipe dream, or is it a possibility? That's among what we have lined up for you on GMK this Good Morning. Let's a quick look at the day shipping up, and the news shipping up, the news conversation at this hour, where President William Ruto now says there will be no slums in Kenya in the next 15 years, and all Kenyans will be living in decent houses. Speaking in Pipeline Estate, Nairobi, the head of state said his government is rolling out transformative development programs in Nairobi County to tackle key challenges, including poor waste management, informal settlements, water shortage, poor roads, and unreliable electricity.
1+1 President William Ruto joined faithfuls at Africa Inland Church Pipeline in Nairobi for the Sunday service before interacting with Kenyans in Embakasi.
Arambe! Arambe!
While spelling out his development agenda for Nairobi City County, he cited the building of one priority road in each of the 85 electoral wards, prioritizing Maragua 4 Dam project to boost water supply in the city and stabilizing electricity supply.
Tunajenga manyumba 1169 ya watu wa Nairobi City. Na mimi nataka niwaeleze wa Nairobi, ile slum siko hapa Nairobi. Ndani ya miaka 15 tutakuwa tumemalizana na slums. Kila mtu atakuwa anaishi katika nyumba iko na maji, iko na stima, iko na choo, iko na maji, iko na kila kitu.
The president revealed a comprehensive garbage management service will be installed beginning April 1st to ensure timely collection across the city. A waste treatment plant will also be built at the Dandora dump site next year to manage waste, produce fertilizer and generate electricity.
National government imeungana na county government. Tuondoe siasa ya chuki, tuondoe siasa ya ubaguzi, tuondoe siasa ya ukabila. Nairobi hii ni cosmopolitan city, mahali wa Kenya kutoka jamii zote wanaishi, na hiyo siasa ya kuunganisha Kenya inaanza hapa Nairobi.
Tumesema si ni kazi tunataka kuona we rais, na kazi tumeona na tumesema ni tutam. Asante sana rais.
Watu wa Nairobi tunakutambua kwa vile umetushikilia na umeshikilia vijana wetu. Vijana wale ambao hawana mboka tuwashughulikie. Umetuwekea vijana kwa climate works, kuna vijana wako kwa mijengo. Mdosi anaweza hawezi.
The president reiterated his government commitment to eradicate slums in 15 years. So far, the government has invested 220 billion shillings in Nairobi to build 169,000 affordable housing units, 16 modern markets, and hostels to accommodate 14,000 students.
Moving on, ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna and allies have declared that they will not be party to any pre-election deal that bypasses the ODM's National Delegates Conference. Addressing a series of rallies in Western Kenya on Sunday, Sifuna said the ODM and UDA must fully implement the 10-point agenda as endorsed by the NADCO report. Wycliffe Okech with a report.
From Linda Ground to Linda Mwananchi, the voices in the Orange Democratic Movement continue to sound steady in their distinctiveness.
Nataka mseme wasikie hapa ni wapi?
The party's Secretary General Edwin Sifuna says they will stand their ground and resist the push by party leader Oburu Oginga to close ranks with UDA ahead of next year's polls.
Na tunapouliza maswali wanasema ati sisi ni waasi. Lazima tuulize maswali, si ndio? Chama cha Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, hakuna mtu atauza chama cha ODM.
The faction comprising Sifuna, ODM Deputy Party Leader Godfrey Osotsi, Siaya Governor James Orengo, Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino, and his Saboti counterpart Caleb Amisi, among other firebrand leaders, maintained that the decision of ODM to strike a pre-election pact with any other political party must only come from the party membership through a National Delegates Conference.
Wanatuambia kwamba tuende kwa ndoa na UDA. Nyinyi mnataka kwenda ndoa na UDA? Chochote ambayo chama cha ODM itafanya itatoka hapa kwa wananchi.
The group on Saturday kickstarted an initiative dubbed Linda Mwananchi, making stopovers in Ugunja and Sega in Siaya County before holding a public rally in Busia town, where they reiterated their call for the full implementation of the 10-point agenda, including compensation of victims of police brutality during the past protests.
Mimi nataka niape mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu na mbele yenu kama wadosi wangu, mahali nimeshikilia sibanduki, kwa sababu baba hakulea watu waoga. 2027 we will have a revolution. We will have a revolution. A revolution of ideas. A revolution of courage. A revolution of youthful people.
This is in contrast with the directive by the National Party Chair Gladys Wanga requiring all party activities to be sanctioned through party structures with the blessings of the party leader Oburu Oginga. Meanwhile, university and college student leaders from Mombasa and Kilifi counties have declared their firm support for the Orange Democratic Movement leadership and the broad-based government arrangement between President William Ruto and ODM.
I've watched with great concerns attempts within and outside the ODM party to undermine the party organs and structures and leadership. These attempts are out of ill will, bad faith, and meant to ensure that the ODM party scrambles. We equally know this is being sponsored by the enemies of our late leader Raila Amolo Odinga. We are watching you.
If you are very keen, bila wivu, bila siasa mingi, if you look at Kenya today, you will realize the truth is the President Dr. William Samoei Ruto is working. Check the infrastructure of Kenya today. The improvements that William Samoei Ruto has made.
The ODM Party Secretary General Edwin Sifuna and his allies maintain that they are the true defenders of the people and that they will not let the ODM Party close ranks with the UDA Party, as that will be betrayal of the party ideals. Reporting for Channel 1 from Busia County, I am Wycliffe.
And still on the political beat, the united opposition leaders want the government to repatriate Kenyans who are stranded in Russia for their own safety. Led by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and Jubilee Deputy Party Leader Fred Matiang'i, the leaders expressed concern over the rising number of youths who have lost their lives in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war.
Nyandarua County on Sunday hosted opposition figures for a church service at the Good Shepherd Catholic Jabini Parish. The leaders, including former Deputy President and the Democracy for Citizens Party leader Rigathi Gachagua and Jubilee Deputy Party leader Fred Matiang'i, weighed in on the issue of youths seeking jobs abroad who found themselves on the front line of the Russia-Ukraine war.
Na watoto wetu ulipeleka Russia 200,000 warejee nyumbani, wacha wakuje hapa tukule tabu na hawa. Wamepelekwa na hawajakuwa trained kama askari, wamepelekwa kwa vita.
Wazazi wanashinda wakilia kila wakati, mtoto wajulikani yako hapo. The next thing we hear, mwili imepatikana. For how long do you want these parents to continue suffering?
On another front, Jubilee Deputy Party Leader Fred Matiang'i faulted the government over lapses in the education sector and the enrollment of grade 10 students.
Ukiwa rafiki wa hiyo ofisi, unaenda pale unapewa barua, unaenda kualika walimu. Sasa kama Wanjiku Muya, yeye hawezi kuenda kualika walimu, hawezi kuandika walimu. Yeye anaonekana kama ni adui ama mkunji.
Watoto wengi hawajajiunga na shule za upili kwa sababu hawana uniform. Na wakienda pale wanaambiwa warudi nyumbani wanunue nini?
Meanwhile, Nyandarua County lawmaker Faith Gitao has warned the opposition leaders against undermining President William Ruto ahead of the 2027 general election.
Kuna wengine hapo tunajua tunawaitanga watermelon. Unajua sio wa cold, sio wa hot, wako tu hapo ati kama kinyonga. Kwa hivyo hapo sisi tunasema hatuna competitor wa presidency.
And Public Service Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku has faulted a section of Mount Kenya leaders for failing to attend the installation of Dr. Maromba as the 8th presiding bishop of the Methodist Church in Kenya.
Tuseme maneno wasiwasi, mchana peupe. Haiwezekani kuwa tuko na kongamano kama hili na wenzetu waonekani hapa. Tutawaambia mchana, nyinyi mumetuonea mara mingi, mumezoea kutukulia kwa mfuko kama njugu karanga.
Ruku saying the absence of some leaders, particularly from Mount Kenya West, was a strong indication that the region wants Mount Kenya East to chart its own political and economic direction.
It can't be. Tulikuwa na wao na Kibaki na Uhuru Kenyatta na Jomo Kenyatta, lakini wakati wa kama huu hawaonekani. Wakati tuko na Kindiki wanatuambia serikali ni mbaya. Serikali ni mbaya kitu gani?
The ceremony was held at the Kenyatta International Convention Center in Nairobi.
Kufika hapa
Moving on, the family of the 21-year-old student who died on Saturday evening after she was allegedly hit by a police bullet in Huruma Estate, Nairobi County, is asking for justice as tension remains high in the area. Angry residents protesting the killing of Sharil Adhiambo on Sunday continued to engage police in running battles, causing massive destruction of property. The mother, Caroline Achieng, says her daughter was killed at their business premises as human rights activists led by Hussein Khalid is demanding the arrest of the officer involved.
Kiamaiko in Huruma, Nairobi County, where police were forced to use tear gas canisters to disperse residents who were protesting the killing of the 21-year-old Sharil Adhiambo. 2 buses were set on fire during the chaos. Sheril's devastated mother, Caroline Achieng, was inconsolable. Caroline says her daughter, who was a Kenya Medical Training College student, was due to sit for a final examination on Monday.
Nilikuwa nimeenda meeting Migori kwa mtoto wangu wenye wanafuatana, walikuwa na meeting shule. Sasa niambia mama, weenda tu, mimi nikishoka shule nitaenda kuuza. Tunauza nganesi wawili. Sasa nipigia saa 1:40. Akiniambia mama, niko kwa barabara, umeona hiyo pesa imeingia kwa pochi? Nikamwambia ishaingia. Kufika saa 1:50 napigiwa simu, mtoto wangu amekufa.
First of all, we want to condemn in the strongest term possible this heinous, callous, retrogressive and primitive killing of an innocent soul. We are giving ultimatum. The police officer who has shot Sharil must be arrested.
Human rights activist Hussein Khalid, who was at the scene, demanded the arrest of the officer involved and accused the police of denying the family the chance to report the matter and obtain an OB number.
OB number ni right ya kila mtu. OB kuhudumiwa na polisi ni haki ya kila mwananchi. Lakini tunaona hadi hivi sasa, badala ya polisi kujaribu kutuliza watu, kuonesha action is being taken by arresting the officer ambaye inasemekana anajulikana, hawafanyi hivyo.
Sharil died on Saturday evening after being hit by a stray bullet fired by police who were pursuing suspected thugs in the area. Tilio Marco for Sunday Express.
To security matters now, where Interior Cabinet Secretary Onesmus Kipchumba Murkomen has praised ongoing security operations in parts of northern Kenya and the Kerio Valley, saying the multi-agency crackdown on banditry is already bearing fruits. The remarks comes as communities in banditry-prone regions continue to grapple with the long-term effects of cattle rustling and armed attacks.
For decades, livestock keeping has been the livelihood of pastoralist communities across northern Kenya. But that way of life has increasingly come under threat as cattle rustling and banditry turn once peaceful grazing lands into deadly battle zones. Insecurity has forced thousands to live in constant fear, with schools in affected areas occasionally left deserted. In parts of Meru County bordering Isiolo, cattle rustling remains a persistent threat.
Kila wakati wa sikukuu imeibiwa ng'ombe zaidi ya 500 na watu kuuawa
na tumezika watu wengi sana. Vijana wameuliwa wakiwa wamechunga ng'ombe. Kwa hivyo andi saa hii tunahesabu ng'ombe kama 5,000 zile ambazo zimeenda.
Despite heavy deployment of the Rapid Deployment Unit, General Service Unit, Anti-Stock Theft Unit, National Police Reservists and armored vehicles, residents say attacks have not fully stopped.
Kila siku ng'ombe inaenda. Tuko na MP wa Meru 9 na seneta 1 na huyu mama wa kina mama huyo naye anaitwa Kailemia na hakuna wowote anaongea maneno ya ng'ombe.
Alafu hizi risasi wanatushambulia nazo, hatungevumilia ile milio ya bunduki. Sasa watu wamejaribu kuhama kukimbilia usalama na mpaka saa hizi hatujapata usalama wowote.
But speaking during a Sunday church service at AIC Kapsowar in Elgeyo Marakwet County, Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen said the current security operations in the strife-torn Isiolo, Samburu and Laikipia counties are yielding fruit.
Hao wakora yote wamejificha hapo na wanaenda kupiga Meru, kwenda Isiolo, kurudi Laikipia North. Sasa ni juzi nilikuwa hapo na nimetangaza operation na hiyo operation imeanza. Tumechukua mabunduki already Isiolo, Mukokoto Forest tutafanya kitu yenye hawatasahau kwa maisha yao.
The CS warned that individuals aiding or shielding bandits will face firm action.
We will deal with bandits firm, and there is no bandit who will be covered by any politician based on their community.
In Meru, a police training camp will be set up in Igembe North Sub-County to beef up security in the area.
Kunao wanaoendelea na mafunzo. Itakapoisha watakuja hapa paka useme wametosha. Wametosha, hebu wachia hapo.
Yours truly, Kenya Broadcasting Corporation is this week opening its doors to its beloved radio audiences. Beginning today, Monday, KBC-affiliated radio stations and presenters will interact with listeners as we mark World Radio Day. Our reporter Joey Naomi spent the afternoon in the studios to find out what's cooking ahead, the much-anticipated milestone. Take a look.
It is a big week at the Broadcasting House in Nairobi and Sauti House in Mombasa as preparations for the World Radio Day get underway.
Live on location, and of course, it's going to be fun and lots of fun.
KBC has lined up week-long events that will culminate in a massive celebration on Friday.
We have lined up a lot of activities to ensure that people understand the journey of radio from inception to today.
Celebrated on the 13th day of February each year, the day highlights the history and contribution of radio in the transmission of information, education, and emergency communication.
And radio reaches masses. You don't have any formula to receive radio. You could be working on your farm and you're listening to radio. You could be cooking, you're listening to radio. You could be dancing. You could be doing whatever, even in the office.
KBC's radio program manager, Mary Daraja, says with KBC being the first national radio service in the country, it is important to extend and invite our audiences to the corporation.
We call people to action. We mobilize Kenyans to action to ensure that they participate in the development of this country.
The theme for this year's World Radio Day is radio and artificial intelligence, and Daraja says that AI is meant to be an extension, not a replacement for the human voice in radio. The rich history of radio makes one day of celebration insufficient, so KBC is making it World Radio Week. Come celebrate this steady and impressive progress of radio. I am Joy Naomi.
Indeed, it's going to be a very interesting week, especially for radio fans. Also an opportunity to meet your beloved presenters. Away from that, Tiago Oliveira and Milan Gadobransky delivered a strong performance to clinch gold in the canoeing and kayaking 1,000-meter event at the ongoing Open Masters Games entered day 2 in Abu Dhabi in United Arab Emirates. The duo showed excellent coordination and endurance to outpace a competitive field, crossing the finish line fast. Frederick Moki with the details.
The Open Masters Games Abu Dhabi entered day 2 across different venues in the city. The interesting sporting event of the day was the canoeing and kayaking, which saw Oliveira and Milan clinch gold medals. They timed 4 minutes 2.16 seconds. Christian Matei teamed up with Vastislav Savic to claim the silver medal in 4 minutes 5.99 seconds. Meanwhile, Andres Takeoka and Asiom Katlia settled for bronze, rounding off the podium after a disciplined and consistent performance. They clocked 4 minutes 19.09 seconds. Meanwhile, Gennady Mezidikov and Yuri Talachov won gold medals in the 60-plus age category, clocking 4 minutes 34.63 seconds, followed by Elia Eliv and Alessandras Abotas in 4 minutes 39.39 seconds. The canoeing 1,000 meters competition was among several highlights on day 2 of the Open Masters Games, which has brought together veteran athletes from across the globe.
It was amazing, good competitors, and we try to do best. It's not easy, it's hard, and that's why we try try again. So it was amazing.
90 nations are represented in the inaugural edition of the Open Masters Games Abu Dhabi, which are geared towards promoting cultural unity through sports. Tomorrow, traditional Emirati games, including falconry and camel racing, will be held across the different venues within the city. From Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, my name is Frederick Mwoki.
Moving on, Nairobi United lost their 5th consecutive group game of the CAF Confederations Cup after losing 1-0 to Wydad Casablanca yesterday at the Kasarani Stadium. Wissam Ben Yedder scored the lone goal in the 89th minute of the game to secure all the 3 points for visitors Wydad. It was the second straight defeat for Nairobi United against their Moroccan opponents after losing in the first leg 3-0 in November last year. Going into the match, Nairobi United had lost all their 4 group matches against their next opponents, Maniema Union, and also going down twice to Azam. United, who are now out of the competition, will play Maniema in their final group game on the 15th of this month.
At the top level of European football to his name, found his first in the African Champions League. It came in the 89th minute. So tough on a Nairobi United backline who had held out till then. And we're going to...
Very well, that's where we put a cap on our Good Morning Kenya news this morning. And just a quick one for EPL lovers is that Arsenal are still leading the English Premier League table with 50 points, 56 points, just 6 above their nearest rival Manchester City, and the win by Manchester City put pressure on the EPL. Of course, we'll get more of this in our subsequent bulletin, and also don't forget to check out our social media spaces for this news plus much more. Many thanks indeed for joining us. My name is Ben Troy Njue. Good Morning Kenya continues.
The Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, KBC, has been named among the top 10 best parastatals in Kenya 2026 in a survey conducted by the Kenya Track Survey. This recognition celebrates state corporations that are transforming lives through effective service delivery, and KBC is proud to be among them. For decades, KBC has remained Kenya's trusted public broadcaster, delivering reliable, accurate, and trustworthy information to citizens across the country. From public communication and civic education to emergency messaging when it matters most, KBC continues to serve the nation with responsibility and integrity. We have expanded local content and indigenous language programming, promoting culture, unity, and national cohesion. We are also embracing the future through digital transformation with online TV, radio streaming, and active social media platforms, bringing KBC closer to you anytime, anywhere. To our loyal viewers and listeners, we say, KBC, informing the nation, connecting Kenya.
Sikujua mimi nilipinduka na mwana hii kasikia. Nimekuita hapa kwa sababu ya upendo. Ni wakati wa Valentine.
Saishi sasa wewe ni shagi. Tracy Brown.
I dominate.
Hata kuwa na kesi wasichana wetu nikimwatia hivyo.
I will skip. Hii makasiriko yote ni ya nini? Wanafanya kazi kwa kisiagi, tunaona nywele yanakaa unga. Na hiyo pa. Funga macho.
Ni nani amekuva?
Babe. the love of my life. When you see me,
kutoka uliwahi.
kuna mtu nataka mumu. Wewe kuna mtu ovyo. Nyagia kuacha kwa sauti.
Umetoa wapi flowers? Boyfriend wangu amenipatia.
My name's Jung Kwon-jong. I'm the boss of this entire hotel. My duties include heavy lifting, spreading happiness, and driving fancy cars. And I officially moved into the sunroom. You think you can cut my share of the rent?
Say what?
That day, she walked into my life. Hi. I met the woman of my dreams.
I'll take you home. I got the Maserati.
All the women in the club will be like sisters to me.
Respect is most important in a relationship. If a man doesn't respect a woman, then he's no man.
You add all the brilliant moments, or what we call miracles. Welcome.
Perfect. Welcome back to the program. My name is Victor Lowe. All right, so this is it, 9th day of February 2026. If you've just joined us, this is Good Morning Kenya on KBC Channel 1. My name is Victor Olo. Today being a Monday is Eye on Politics. We want to talk everything politics, the much we can, and everything in between. Okay, so my guests are already in studio. I want to talk about the game plan ahead of 2027 because now the political drumbeats are really hitting so hard, and you know the horns, the flutes and everything. The political music is very loud as we speak. Innocent Musumbi is a political analyst. He's also an economist by profession. He's also an economist by profession, yes, and he's joining us on set. Duke Mainga, political analyst. He's also the chairman of the Commodities Fund. I'll bring them on set very shortly. But how about I take you through the front page of the local dailies? Let me start with the Standard. The Standard says that season of baits. That's on the front page of the Standard. Season of baits. Okay, there you go. Season of baits. And the gentleman on the front page is the President of the Republic of Kenya, President William Ruto. The Standard says that as the clock ticks towards the 2027 elections, President William Ruto is now struggling to change his image of a miser who, for the last 3 years, launched policies that impoverished the people through heavy and unnecessary taxes that have killed businesses, increasing poverty and employment in the country. From a head of state whose speeches demanded a pound of flesh from the weakening and frail frames of Kenyans, to now pledges of tax exemptions for lower cadre salaried workers, and talk around the Nyota program, which pundits dismiss as too little too late. That is on the front page of the Standard. We have got now where the president is, seat of the debates. That's on the front page of the Standard. The inner pages, the president's tokenism targets payslip holders in populist ploy. Related to the front page, there's a proposal to have individuals paying less than 30,000 exempt from taxes. Okay, that is on the second page here. The president announced that all Kenyans earning between 30,000 shillings and below will be exempted from pay as you earn. And these stance may bring relief to some Kenyans, but there are political nuances in his pronouncements. Okay, opposition leaders strike back as at Ruto's quote-unquote no agenda Barb says that they have no agenda, they are leaderless. Is it, or are they? The next story here is about Sifuna-backed faction in ODM attacks Oburu over UDA ties. You remember, Siaya Governor James Orengo yesterday said that there is no way they are going to join UDA, but the president of this side says, we are on track and we are going to work together. So which way ODM? The question is 2027 game plan. That is what I have here. Okay. On the second paper here, let me go to the Daily Nation. Who cares? That's a big Q. Who cares? That's on the front page of the Daily Nation. Who cares? Okay, it's about, is it that Kenyans have resigned themselves to fate, no longer care, or that grand corruption has simply become a way of life, given the multitude and the muted reaction to multi-billion shillings graft exposes? While greedy officials continue looting public coffers, Kenyans bear the brunt of failing public systems, hospitals turning away desperate patients who cannot afford medical bills, overcrowded schools, running on empty, and agriculture produce rotting on farms due to dilapidated roads. In the past week, the sheer wastage at county level was on display, with the governors pressed by senators over outrageous expenditures such as splashing millions on Christmas tree. I think that was in Bungoma when he appeared before the Senate, on Christmas trees and housewarming parties, and diverting such funds set aside for small businesses to finance political rallies. When will the merchants of corruption finally face justice and spare Kenyans already burdened by the high taxes? The big question on the front page of the Daily Nation. Okay. The body mandated to do that is EACC. Last one is hustle economy, struggling under shrinking economies. Incomes, beg your pardon, that is hustle economy, struggling under shrinking incomes. All right. On paper, economy appears steady on the streets. The story is different on ground. That's what's basically here. On paper, economy appears steady on the streets. The story is quite different. Again, Orengo Sifuna faction rejects ODM deal with Ruto, UDA, and this is it. I think MPs are resuming this week, and there must be a lot for them as the now sittings resume after long December break. They were on recess. Okay, so let me start with the front page of the Star newspaper here. Innocent, good morning.
Morning.
Good to see you.
Great to see you.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
The story on the Star newspaper, probably you can just take it first of all. As an economist, what do you make of this? On paper, economy appears steady, but kwa ground na kwa streets, vitu tofauti sana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sure. When you listen to the macroeconomics, the statistics we are getting from the government, especially on, our GDP is meant to grow at 5%.
Yeah.
The inflation rate has gone down from 9.8% in 2022 to 4.8% last year. Our foreign exchange reserves have grown almost 3 times. So this is not what the Mwananchi down on the ground is feeling. So we need to understand why is this not happening.
Yeah.
And when you see headlines showing that the government, to bridge the budget deficit that we are having of around 1 trillion, the government is planning to borrow internally, domestically. Yeah. That means it will be very hard for the SMEs to borrow from our banks because they have already lent to the government, and therefore that is where the problem is. The cost of borrowing is high, and that means our MSMEs are not growing. It means that the level of unemployment will still go high, and our pockets, the Kenyan pockets, will not have enough money to spend.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good point to start. When it starts to money matters and economy, it's a good way to start. Duke, let's come back to the real deal. I don't know whether you want to talk about that. On paper, things looks okay.
Yeah.
Yes. We are feeling the pain.
There's always been a feeling that when things seem to be doing well in this country, just a small fraction of Kenyans, tend to feel a the change, but a majority are undergoing, difficult times back in Mashinani. The question should be, or the question we should ask ourselves is, when the economy is getting better each and every day, where is all this money going to? Who is getting the money? Is it a larger percentage of Kenyans or the few individuals? Because we've been seeing quite, a number of people. You see it on the paper today, I don't know whether it was the Standard or which paper was that, where there have been too many cases of corruption, too many cases, a lot of money, billions of money, getting lost. But I will blame this on the judiciary, because then where do these cases normally disappear to? When people make billions of money, 18, 20, in terms of, tens of billions. So let's ask ourselves a question. The economy is getting better, but who's feeling the impact? Is this money trickling down to Mwananchi, or is it just disappearing hapa katikati on a few individuals within the country?
Okay, yes, great. So the question is, who cares? I think that's based on the Daily Nation, what you just asked. Who cares? It sounds like a norm, but look at it. Kenya is a country of plenty. We basically can actually do a lot with that if somebody really cared. So, season of baits. What is the game plan? That is the big question here. What is the game plan? Gentlemen, we've seen this so much movement in the country. The political pronouncements, who is saying what and all that. I want us to listen to the story of what really happened yesterday in Busia. There's another faction where the Sifuna-led faction were in Busia, and they talked a lot. And even the president also said that Azimio is not ODM without ODM. There's a reason as to that is happening. And we'll talk about that. So probably we can take a look at that story before we get into the discussion.
From Linda Ground to Linda Mwananchi, the voices in the Orange Democratic Movement continue to sound steady in their distinctiveness. The party's Secretary General Edwin Sifuna says they will stand their ground and resist the push by party leader Oburu Oginga to close ranks with UDA ahead of next year's polls.
Na tunapouliza maswali wanasema ati sisi ni waasi. Lazima tuulize maswali, si ndio? Chama cha Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, hakuna mtu atauza chama cha ODM.
The faction comprising Sifuna, ODM Deputy Party Leader Godfrey Osotsi, Siaya Governor James Orengo, Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino, and his Saboti counterpart Caleb Amisi, among other firebrand leaders, maintained that the decision of ODM to strike a pre-election pact with any other political party must only come from the party membership through a national delegates conference.
Wanatuambia kwamba titwende kwa ndoa na UDA. Nyinyi mnataka kwenda ndoa na UDA?
Chochote ambayo chama cha ODM itafanya itatoka hapa kwa wananchi.
The group on Saturday kickstarted an initiative dubbed Linda Mwananchi, making stopovers in Ugunja and Sega in Siaya County before holding a public rally in Busia town, where they reiterated their call for the full implementation of the 10-point agenda, including compensation of victims of police brutality during the past protests.
Mimi nataka niape mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu na mbele yenu kama wadosi wangu, mahali nimeshikilia sibanduki, kwa sababu baba hakulea watu waoga.
2027 we will have a revolution. We will have a revolution. A revolution of ideas. A revolution of courage. A revolution of youthful people.
This is in contrast with the directive by the National Party Chair Gladys Wanga requiring all party activities to be sanctioned through party structures with the blessings of the party leader Oburu Oginga. Meanwhile, university and college student leaders from Mombasa and Kilifi counties have declared their firm support for the Orange Democratic Movement leadership and the broad-based government arrangement between President William Ruto and ODM.
I've watched with great concerns attempts within and outside the ODM party to undermine the party organs and structures and leadership. These attempts are out of ill will, bad faith, and meant to ensure that the ODM party crumbles. We equally know this is being sponsored by the enemies of our late leader Raila Amolo Odinga. We are watching you.
If you are very keen, bila wivu, bila siasa mingi, if you look at Kenya today, you will realize the truth is the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, is working. Check the infrastructure of Kenya today. The improvements that William Samoei Ruto has made.
The ODM Party Secretary General Edwin Sifuna and his allies maintain.
The game plan, Duke. From Linda Ground to Linda Mwananchi, what do you make of this?
Survival for the fittest. You know, politicians, we have a way of looking for relevance. What is happening today, the Sifuna-led team is definitely trying to look for a way in order to remain relevant. And the first thing you must do in politics is to appear like you're fighting government, because the mentality of Mwananchi is that any minute you call government a thief, any minute you call government bad, automatically you tend to get some support from the people. So that is what these guys are doing. And remember, before the departure of Raila Amolo Odinga, the likes of Babu Owino had issues with Baba and the party. So now they have the opportunity now to come out and they create a platform where they're going to vent and release their their troubles and the challenge that they might have been facing.
Yes.
I'll also look at a gentleman like the Siaya governor, yes. Orengo. Orengo, I'm reliably informed that back in his county, he has not done so much, for the people. He might be very, very good with litigation. He might be very, very good with corporate governance and the like. But development for the people down on the ground, there seems to be quite a number of issues. And they have to find a way to, to put this blame on someone.
Yeah.
So basically, they're trying to fight for their position. And in a few days from now, you start seeing them trying to negotiate, either with the existing government or the opposition, in order to get a share of the cake.
Okay, let's welcome Daniel Jumo Monde. He's the Africa Regional Representative for Global Peace Foundation. Is it safe to say Happy New Year? We've never
yeah, it's safe to say Happy New Year.
Safe,
we haven't met this year.
Good to see you.
I was here the other day
with
Mike, but it's good to be here again. It's an interesting time. The political heat is already catching up.
Karibu.
Yes.
Karibu.
Yes.
Again, now that your mic is on, you've seen what's happening. The game plan. You come from Siaya County.
Yes, I come from Siaya.
Saying the truth or anaongeza salt hapo kidogo.
Yeah, I come from Siaya, and I think there's some level of truth in what he says. Governor Orengo is my friend, but unfortunately, the level of development we see in Siaya County, it is not, it's not what we expect, especially with devolution, especially the third decade of devolution. I get disappointed when I see my governor, already getting, cozy in national politics. Yet there's so much to be done at home. Many of these governors are busy. They're busy trying to make things work because we have at least a year plus, to the next election. So it is very sad that that he started to focus on this kind of theatrics that we're seeing. Of course, he's very good at it, but also I agree with him that ODM as it is today, given what happened yesterday, it's basically divided, already divided.
Is it divided
very
or
sad.
a political game?
It's either or both.
It's
either or both, and I also agree with him that the likes of Sifuna, the so-called rebels within the party, are looking for a way to negotiate, either with the Gachagua team or with the government team. And right now, as you see, yesterday I followed the Busia rally, and I could see the likes of Fanya Mambo Kinuthia, who basically said that he's there to represent his boss, Gachagua. And he was saying that you shout one term so that his boss could hear. So you can see clearly, yesterday, even the sloganeering was basically one term, one term. You have to be keen to be able to see, who are the people behind yesterday. And also yesterday's event was heavily funded, heavily funded. Look at the vehicles that were there. Everything was, heavily funded. So there is somebody behind that is actually, interested to see that ODM is divided, because, as you know, and if Raila was alive, this would not be happening. Most likely, this would not be happening, because Raila basically had entered this agreement, or so-called agreement with the UDA. And in his mind, of course, people would say that Raila would think many things, but the fact that he actually was with the president shows you where he was comfortable to be. But of course, there are people who are saying, oh, he said this, or who told you, and all that. But right now, Raila is dead. You can never know what was in his mind.
Okay, I want to ask you this question. Could it be that when Raila was still there, he had his own game plan?
Yes.
But right now he's not there. The lieutenants became a little impatient and released the cat out of the bag too soon. What you're seeing?
Yes.
Could it be that probably that was the plan ahead of 2027?
I mean, it could be, because again, Raila would tell you one thing and maybe do the other. I get my point. And Raila was a friend to so many people. He was a friend to so many people. He's a friend to the common man and was a friend to the mighty. So sometimes it's difficult to know what was really in his mind, what he really wanted to achieve. But then that was Raila. That was the mystery surrounding the man. And whatever is going on today is also as a result of the mystery, of Raila Odinga. Because if you look at Luo politics, for example, and one of the reasons why Owalo right now has, right now is running, because Owalo was very comfortable within the administration. And when Raila's team joined the administration, they become, of course, very influential within the administration. And that made those who stood with the president, like Owalo, very uncomfortable. And you see, he was removed from his cabinet post and was given another role. I don't know whether he was happy within that role, but you can see him leaving could be either it is planned or it could be in protest. You get my point?
Yeah.
So this is because Raila, and one of the things people blame Raila because they say that if he focused on the opposition, maybe he would have he won even the last election. But the fact that he kept on coming to handshake with government, that also made him lose some credibility. And so that is him. And what is happening basically was bound to happen because he wanted to be in the government at the same time he wants to be in the opposition.
Before you take a break, Innocent, it is from Linda Ground to Linda Mwananchi, the factions. Okay, gentlemen, you all know there is nothing accidental in politics. Everything must be planned, and there is a blueprint to everything that's happening right now. What do you make of this? Linda Ground, now to Linda Mwananchi, what is the messaging?
Yeah, the messaging is clear, and the background of all this is that after the demise of Raila Amolo Odinga, we expected all this sense of cacophony, all this kind of sibling rivalry. We expected to see that. And what Sifuna and team, what we saw in Busia, it's a message, and it is coming immediately after the changes we saw in the Azimio coalition, where we saw Kalonzo Musyoka being elevated to, replace Raila Amolo Odinga as the head of Azimio, and of course kicking out Junet Mohammed to replace him with Karoli Omondi. And it is clear to any person with a keen eye on Kenya's politics, you can understand who is behind it and what is coming out clearly, and why Sifuna...
Who is behind it?
I think it's in the public domain. We know Uhuru Kenyatta is all behind this. And
behind what?
Yeah, behind the orchestration of Azimio, behind... Junet Mohammed told us in broad daylight that Sifuna and team are auctioning ODM to Uhuru Kenyatta, and Uhuru Kenyatta is bankrolling, and as Omondi has clearly stated here, the rally yesterday was very well financed. It was running on good oil. So we can see the restructuring of Azimio and Uhuru Kenyatta trying to put up a serious team in opposition under the banner of Azimio. Of course, he's having the hangovers of 2022, and he must be rearing for a fight with the incumbent president, at least to defend his legacy, because you have seen Uhuru Kenyatta and his people trying to say that Ruto, William, the president, is trying to vitiate his legacy, you know, through the killing of Linda Mama to the Shah that we are having today. So Uhuru Kenyatta has all the reasons to support that. And again, looking at Sifuna and Babu Owino and the architecture of the city politics, where I'm made to understand that Babu Owino wants to go for the gubernatorial position in Nairobi. Sifuna, of course, wants to get re-elected as a senator. In Nairobi politics, without Baba, Sifuna and Babu Owino will have to reinvent themselves. And that is why they have to look at Kalonzo. Will Kalonzo be able to deliver his Kamba block in Nairobi? Will Gachagua be able to deliver his Kikuyu block to them? So that is the kind of machinations that it's all about self-interest. And as Duke had said, they are trying also to reinvent themselves, to make themselves strategic in the current dispensation. And therefore, we are yet to see a lot of realignment. But the clear thing is that Sifuna and his team, they are not about to support the broad-based government, because their political arithmetic will not be able to
who is fooling who? Who is fooling who? Do you think the president is giving a clean paper to write on when it comes to the coalition agreement between UD and ODM? Duke?
You know, many people don't know who President William Samoei.
Oh, okay. I'm talking President to break. I also need to have my cup of coffee. All of you are
okay.
I don't have. Okay. How about to do that?
Okay.
Right back with that. Okay, stay with us.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Friday night again.
Greetings in the name of the Most High Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the Positive Warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
So, okay, so I also have my cup of coffee. We are now good to go. Sour. So, Duke, you said you wanted to say something?
Yes.
Before we took a break, go ahead.
I wanted to say this, that, you know, Kenyan politics is mainly driven by perception. When the likes of Gladys Wanga and Simbarati came with Linda Ground, the perception was these people are sweeping the country. You would see the kind of merchandise and the kind of, you know, mobilization that was being done in Kisii, in Eldoret, in Kakamega, and all these other places where these politicians went to. So what do you do quickly as a politician who has a future who isn't ambitious like Babu Owino and Sifuna? You change the narrative from Linda Ground to Linda Mwananchi, because at the end of the day, Mwananchi is the ground. So you change it very fast, and then you change the message, and you start talking about now Mwananchi Munaibiwa, and you paint the other side or the other faction that they've been bought by government. The moment you make Mwananchi or make the mindset of Mwananchi start viewing the other side as being bought, definitely you get a stepping. So that is what clear these gentlemen are doing, and they're doing it perfectly. I don't want to mind, you know, who is behind, who is bankrolling them, because all of us know the financial background of all these people, Funa and Babu Owino and the like. I want to agree with what Omond said here, that probably they might not have that kind of muscles. Now, let's see what is going to happen after yesterday's meeting in Busia. If they're going to manage to do 2, 3, 4, 5 of such events, then know that definitely there's someone, you know, behind this kind of arrangement. But at the end of the day, perception wins. And as we move closer to 2027, politicians are going to invest more on what Mwananchi sees. Because there's a Mwananchi who is in Nairobi who doesn't go to the ground, who depends on what, you know, social media and mainstream media feeds this person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are we looking at a situation where now there is going to be, the division we're seeing in ODM is deliberate. So you scatter, and then at some point you'll gather them. So we have the split, we have got these two factions.
But who's going to gather them? Baba is gone. It's only Baba who used to bring. These people would fight, they go to whatever direction, and then at the end of the day, Baba would call them together. But the politicians, they only respected Baba.
But, okay, but then you look at the faction, they have a party leader right now who is Daktari.
They don't respect him.
But then when it comes to creating that faction and the perception you're talking about right now, at some point they are going to coalesce again, come back home and say, you know what? This is the same house, we've agreed.
That will not happen.
That's what happens. How is it going to happen? And to whose advantage? Mundi.
Yesterday I had a morning walk with my neighbor, Udoro Ngwen, who is the executive director of ODM. And we discussed this, and he told me eventually, you know, the party, it shows that the party is democratic and that the party will eventually come, you know, back together. And just like me, he was waiting to see what's going to happen in Busia. But we have to be real. You know, our politics is basically what it is. And right now, you know, and especially after the broad-based, you know, government and also the friendship of Raila Odinga and the president, we must give it to the president that he made inroads already into several of Raila's strongholds, and especially Luo Nyanza today. Yesterday, I don't know whether you say Ugunja. Ugunja, when Orengo was there in Ugunja, you could hear Ruto and 2 terms. So right now, the way it is, and thanks to the PS, Raymond Omolo, who has been doing a lot of groundwork, you know, the President Ruto already has direct influence within Luo Nyanza. And so what the ODM basically, especially the factions are doing, is trying to salvage that, because you can see the ODM is saying that they would want Ruto to deal with them, you know, to reach the people through them. But the President Ruto, being who he is, and maybe you saw the other day in State House, the number of aspirants, you know, who came to State House, more than 3,000. These are
actually there were 12,000.
12,000, yes. And paid, you know, and you can see they already, the machinery is already built.
And that is the perception
yes.
that I was talking about.
So he's already built the machinery
Which perception?
That is the man to beat.
Yes, there is a mindset, and they are in the country, majority of Kenyans, they are with.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. And so also with the perception that he is the incumbent. And historically, it is never easy. Actually, no incumbent has lost power. You know my point? The closest we had to an incumbent losing power was 2007, and you saw what that led to. You know my point? And so many people are seeing that if this president was able to defeat Azimio when Uhuru was the president, and he had all the machinery of power, and he was able to beat them, how on earth are you going to do it when he is the one controlling the machinery, security apparatus? So that is the reality. So what is happening in ODM is basically a reaction to basically the influence the president already has. He's already way ahead. Right now, the opposition still, they don't know who's going to be there. Yesterday, you could see in Busia, they're saying that their president is one of us. You never know. They're not saying, is it Orengo, Sifuna, Babu? Nobody's saying. You know, point. So at this time, if you don't have a presidential candidate, and already this guy's ahead.
You need to watch a movie by Samuel L. Jackson, The Unthinkable.
Okay.
You need to watch that.
Yeah, and Victor, as we go on, it's important for Kenyans to understand that our politics have gone to a very different level. As from 2022, we are in a very, very different slate of politics. Because the politics of rhetoric that I saw Sifuna and Babu Owino doing at Busia, they are politics of the yo. And possibly the last person who will go with those politics is Raila Amolo Odinga. Politics of agitation, politics of liberalization. You see, after the second liberation and after the delivery of the 2010 constitution, all what we need in Kenya now is economic liberation. And therefore, what we should be seeing from leaders who are moving forward and who are visionary is for them to give us the vision. Let those ODM renegades tell us what is their plan for the future of Kenya, not just rhetoric of nani ameiba. Tell us nani ameiba na tutamfanyia nini, because this is, you know, kind of unfortunate mobilization. And you see, for young leaders, we need to see a very different type of politics, not the politics of 1963. We need to see people who are giving, and that is what, when the president talks of, we need first to see your track record. We need to see the leaders who are talking of getting the realms of power in 2027. Let them show us what they have done for the years they have been in power. Then let them project what vision they have for the country. Take, for example, someone like Ndindi Nyoro is saying we don't need to wait for 2027 to change our education system, to fund our education system. He's already given alternatives. You see, the United Opposition now, I heard Kalonzo Musyoka saying that they have changed their name from United Opposition to United Alternative Government. Where are the alternatives? So as we move to 2027, let us have palpable issues. People who are discussing issues, not rhetoric of nani alifanya hivi. We don't need those things. Let us have solutions going forward.
Okay. What do you make of this?
Can I just add on what you're saying?
Go ahead.
There is where President William Ruto beats all these guys hands down. Because if you listen to William Ruto speaking, anytime he comes to the public, he normally talks about issues. He normally talks about what he's doing. You know, I saw the other day he went to Talanta Stadium and he was doing a video. Some people are laughing, but let me tell you what that means to Mwananchi. You compare with what happened in Busia the other day. When Edwin Sifuna stood, when he took the podium, the first thing he said is, hapa ni wapi? Si tumefika Busia. So walikuwa nakataa tuwezi fika hapa. You know, that doesn't mean to Mwananchi. You ni kuonyesha tu kiburi eti, you know, you have the power, you have the mighty. But if you stand and tell the people that we have issues with the education system, this is how we are going to fix it. We have issues with our infrastructure, this is how we are going to fix it. If we don't go that direction, then trust me, it will be very, very difficult to manage the politics of William Samoei Ruto.
Yeah, and we have issues with corruption. The governors are stealing money. And Sifuna is in the Senate, you know, and they are supposed to be checking the governors. You know, yesterday he was there with the chair governor. I mean, they should be telling people what are we doing about corruption.
Correct.
because corruption is the biggest problem we have today. And so much money is getting lost. Look at the problem even in Northeastern. You know, and you know, I mean, you have to agree. You know, when Morara was in Northeastern and he was looking at some of the alleged development, which the government, the governors are claiming to have done, there's nothing. So what are the senators doing to rein in the governors? So we're talking about devolution. They've been given so much money, but it doesn't reflect on the ground. So I come from Kenya, you know, you know, for the first time we had, you know, the tarmac from Mugunja coming down to Nyandorera. But right now in Uganda, the whole, I can tell you, the whole of Uganda constituency, there's no single bank in the whole constituency. If I want to go and the bank money, I have to go to the next constituency of Ugunja. You get my point? So these people should be telling us, you know, what is the plan? What is the plan? So I agree. You know, what is the plan and how are you going to beat President Ruto? President Ruto may have come up with some ideas, which some think are not good, but he's delivering on that. Affordable housing.
Look, for example, just the other day when the president announced that he will be proposing to the parliament to waive the pay as you earn to the bottom of the pyramid, the people earning 30,000 and below.
Yeah.
Just look at how will that turn this country. It may not have, because I've had analysts and critics talking of we are only saving 600 shillings out of it. But 600 shillings is a lot of money to the common man. 600 shillings. So these are, you see, when the president is calling people to State House and wherever he's going, he's giving a scorecard.
Okay.
He's talking of we got a dilapidated economy in 2022. This is what we have done.
What are some of the realignments we are looking at as part of the game plan? Because you mentioned the name of Uhuru Kenyatta. Let's just put it. Yesterday, Deputy Governor of Kakamega, that is Ayub Savula, and the Governor, Fernandez Baraza, FCPA, also said that former President Uhuru Kenyatta should not actually lie to Kalonzo Musyoka. What are we looking at? What was the messaging, Duke? And I want to talk about that, the realignments and the coalitions that we're looking at between now and August of next year. Go ahead.
The former President Uhuru Kenyatta is not going to do much. He would have done a lot when he was in power. Currently, he's trying to look for a way to survive for their family businesses, to keep on thriving and the like. So he will just be, you know, he will try and influence, because I was observing the other day the rally in Central Province that was attended by Rigiji and Matiang'i, who is the purported Jubilee flag bearer. And you know, from the optics, when you look at the ground, I only saw Matiang'i with his Deputy Secretary General in the Jubilee regalia. But the entire multitude was in DCP. They had the capes, all these materials, you know, that portray what a political party looks like. So for me, I think President Uhuru Kenyatta is placing a multi-bet. He's placing a multi-bet. He wants to see where can we survive, where are we going to get. You saw the other day Muhoho in State House. You know, it doesn't just happen by accident. It's by design. That, you know what, we are with you. If it works here, we'll be here. If it doesn't work here, we'll be on this side. But there's something I wanted to say before I forget. I want to speak to some members of parliament, including my area member of parliament of Bomachoge Brabu constituency, who I saw him yesterday in Busia with Kina Sifuna and Babu Owino. These are some of the people who've completely failed. They have done nothing on the ground, and they think they will survive with the rhetoric.
Are you saying that because you want to run for the same seat?
No. I'm not saying that because I want to.
Saying that because you want to run for the same seat?
This is on the ground. You can ask.
On a scale of what?
Today, actually, go on your social media platform and ask people to tell you, to give you a report from Bomachoge Brabu constituency. This is what I mean. A few people, Sifuna and Babu Owino, might walk out with something with this arrangement, but majority, who are not even popular, who are not known. I'm sure you do you know my area member of parliament, Bomachoge Brabu constituency, is called Obadia Barongo. Have you ever met him? Do you know him? Probably you don't, okay? So basically I'm trying to say this. As you move to the ground trying to play rhetorics, make sure that you have done something for the people. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be accountable to the people, more especially if you're holding an elective position. So for me, I would advise for the remaining 17 months, try and do something. Although I know, because this financial year is coming to an end, the remaining financial year will be too political. Everybody will be trying to see, well, how do I align myself? How do I get resources to run the campaign and the like?
Yeah.
So if you have not done anything for the people today, no amount of rhetoric.
Thank you.
Is going
Let's
to
talk about the
save
realignments that we are yet to see.
Yes.
In 1 minute, if you can, before I come to you, Daniel. What are some of the realignments we are, perhaps we'll be crossing, okay, fine, that has worked, cross the tick, that one, not yet. What is about to happen in the next few months until probably June?
President William Ruto is going to manage these people pretty well, and is already doing it. Because I'm sure all of them are running, they're trying to catch the eye of William Samoei Ruto. Sifunas and the like, they want to be relevant, to be called to the table. That's what happens. And you know, presidential elections in this country are normally planned a few months to elections, maybe 4 or 5 months to elections.
Yeah.
So you are going to see quite an, you know, and remember, every politician in this country has a prize.
Absolutely.
Including Rigiji. Including Rigiji himself. So be prepared.
Including innocent.
Yes.
Yes. So I definitely agree. A day in politics is like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
And it's too early to say. It is too early to say. But right now, as it is, you know, we still don't have, the opposition has not given us a presidential candidate. So we don't know who is going to run against William Ruto. So as it is today, William Ruto is definitely ahead. And he has all these cards to play under his, under his chest. And with regards to Nyanza politics, you know, it's very, very clear. It's very, very clear. And also as a way of some kind of gratitude, not say gratitude, but kind of respect for Raila Odinga. You know, I know that when I listen to the ground in Luo Nyanza, many of them are saying they would want to give William Ruto another term, you know, so that he can finish what he wants to do. But what is happening today with the likes of Babu, Sifuna, they may be playing, you know, for the 2032 politics. They want to position themselves, you know, for post-Ruto time. And if I were someone like Babu, Sifuna, and especially Babu, what I know is that the youth in Luo Nyanza, they would want him to work with Ruto and position himself for 2032. That is what I listen to on the ground. So if he's smart, he needs to listen to that. You know, just, you know, be where Baba left you. But of course, I'm not saying that, one of the things that I don't say, what is going on is very healthy. Because people are saying that, because you can't say that, okay, so Baba left us in broad base and so Ruto is good on the ground. But they're saying that we are a political country. You know, so what is going on must be allowed to happen. And I must really applaud the government that, you know, yesterday there was no interference with that rally. Because if there was interference, and that is what some of the people in the opposition would have wanted, if there was interference, then that would have, of course, given the opposition, you know, some momentum. But the fact that they were allowed to do their thing, it is good. And that is how we are supposed, we are a very healthy country politically. And that is how I want us to be. I don't want us to be like Uganda or Tanzania, where they don't allow politicians to even campaign. Let them do their thing, let them talk. There's freedom of whatever, there's you know, civic liberty in this country. Let them do it. But when it comes to real politics on the ground, I can tell you.
Let's have the general, you know, platform here. So what are some of the movement that we are likely to see? Okay? Who is going to have coffee and tea with who? Who is going to have a meeting, late night meetings with who? What are some of the press conferences that we are likely to see moving forward? That's what I want to hear. You know that person in Loyangalani and Nyalgunga and in Kiunga, what are they expecting now moving forward? Innocent?
Yeah, from my view, it is clear, and that is the history of Kenyan politics. We are going to have a two-horse race, and definitely there will be a coalition that will coalesce around William Ruto, and another one that will coalesce, and you need to mark this.
To another person.
Most likely the former president. And
why former president?
He's
he
a
has
man.
got no constitutional
He's a
office.
man who will be running the show.
Why not Kalonzo Musyoka?
Oh, well, Kalonzo Musyoka...
Is he seen almost right now in Azimio?
Yeah, he's in Azimio, but does Kalonzo Musyoka have the gravitas to have those people coalesce around him?
Innocent, you know,
because
even you'll be molded to be the president if you want to.
Yeah, but you know, it's good to be very pragmatic. It's good to be very pragmatic. And looking at the changes we are seeing in the Azimio coalition, most of these politicians in opposition want to coalesce around that coalition. And we need to understand what will happen to Rigiji, who has you know, constructed himself as a strong man in Mount Kenya. And now we see the possible strong entry of Uhuru Kenyatta. How are they going to interact? Will Rigiji assume a lesser position and allow Uhuru Kenyatta to be the Mount Kenya kingpin? So these are the things to watch. But basically from my desk, I want to say that we need to see a visionary Kenya, a Kenya that is likely to move forward. With this kind of politics, we are not seeing a lot of progress. We are not seeing a lot of progress. We are still playing the politics of the year. Let us have political hygiene. Look at what is happening at the IEBC. Are we likely to have election next year? It is a constitutional mandate that we should have it in August. But when the opposition are talking of we need a clean bill of health through IEBs, we need to change the register, we need to look for another software company, do we have time to do that? So these are things that we need to have a very logical and constructive conversation for us to understand where are we taking Kenya. Because with the kind of emotions we are seeing, we must have a very legitimate election. An election where we'll know a clear winner and people will accept it. So let us, as we play the politics of putting so and so against so and so, let us look at the bigger picture of uniting Kenyans and doing a progressive way of building our politics.
Okay. Duke.
Yes, Victor.
What are we likely to see? Because he's talked about two gentlemen here, and last week we heard that there's a probable handshake somewhere. Go ahead.
Now,
between that is Rigathi Gachagua former and now Uhuru Kenyatta.
For me, I'll repeat by saying this. Uhuru Kenyatta is relevant because of resources. Everybody is running to Uhuru Kenyatta for resources, not necessarily political, you know, the political impact of power. But this is what is likely to happen. You know, the incumbent or the president of the day, as my brother here said, it is very, very difficult to... The man to beat is the incumbent. Whether it's the president, whether it's the governor, whether it's a member of parliament. And President William Ruto has his long years on the ground. Every day he's listening to the ground. So this is what he's going to do. If he's going to realize that majority of Kenyans are listening to these young people, the likes of Sifuna and the rest, William Ruto is going to approach them and, you know, create some sort of an agreement on how they're going to work. Because this is now about ambitions. These ambitious young people, Sifuna, Babu Owino, the likes of Simbarati, very, very ambitious. What is going to happen? There's going to be now that kind of rivalry between these young people. Everybody will want to shine or outshine the other. Begin, you will see this. Babu will want to be the one to be talked about. Sifuna will be one that we want to be talked about. I only pity the other ones who don't have a national outlook. Simbarat is going to you know, want to appear like he's the one who's being talked about. So President William Ruto, if he realizes that people want the likes of Babu Owino and Mzee, the party leader Oburu Odinga, is not making sense, he will approach these gentlemen and tell them, come on guys, you know what? Let's work on something. Because at the end of the day in politics, what you need is numbers. It doesn't matter. So be prepared of very many young people, and this is the time for young people, depending on how we are going to position, you know, ourselves. I will advise my brother Babu Owino, wherever he is, the most grievous decision that he will make is to run for governor in Nairobi County. Because these gubernatorial positions, I think they are cast. I don't know whether they are cast. I don't know what's the issue with these gubernatorial positions. We have had very many young people, very ambitious young people, who have appeared to be presidential materials, the likes of Mtula Kilonzo, the likes of Sakaja, but the gubernatorial positions have just have made them, you know, almost moribund. They cannot be able to breathe again or create that image. So expect coalitions where there are going to be more young people, because more young people are now active.
There is something you've said there. There is something you've said there. And yes, Daniel, actually, we are under 30 seconds. What I would like you to see, there's something he said there, I don't know how whether to put it out right now, but that's the opinion. Very good one. Perhaps Tumalizie, you are the elder here, in 1 second, 30 seconds. What are we like to, because now, when you see the faction of Sifuna, the other side of what they call the other generation in ODM, so there's a split, and it's saying something that President William Ruto is going to approach the most active group for a talk.
It's a political learning research for the president, even for him to basically see, because he's seeing everything at play. He's seeing how people are making fun of Oburu Odinga, the memes, how, you know, like, I mean, he's seeing that, and he's also seeing Okechala, and you see Okechala was in Nairobi the other day with ODM t-shirts with the president and all that. So the biggest prize here for the president are the youth, and so, and one of the things that we have, I agree, is that who are going to be the ones to influence the youth? And so either the Babus and Funas, and they're very young, they're very relevant, because what Sifuna is saying and Babu is saying that we want the 10-point things to be done. Because that is their problem. They're saying that we cannot sit down with Ruto until the 10-point things are done. So if I was the president today, I would sit down with Babu, you know, and Sifuna and say, fine, so we have the 10-point, so what can we do? This is what we have done. I think he needs to reach out to them. If I was him, I would reach out to them, sit down with them. Like you said, everyone has a prize, but these are the people he needs to have on his side. Forget about the other people are already used. You know, they're used. People are making fun of them, and I don't see a future much.
My brother, Oburu Odinga cannot sell ODM. He cannot make it relevant on the ground.
ODM has people.
He cannot.
The country.
People have changed, bro. Politics in this country has metamorphosized to a different level.
Let us not cast people based on their age. I think everybody is significant in his own way, but definitely the future is the youth. And the quicker that the youth try to organize themselves and play politics of progress, the better for us.
We all agree that there is hope for this country, right?
There is.
There is hope. Thank you so much. Innocent Musumbe, political and economist by profession, is an analyst. Thank you so much for joining us. Duke Mainga, he calls himself the Duke of
Kisii. Bomachoge Burabu constituency, incoming member of parliament.
Allah. Allah, okay. He's a political analyst. He's also the chairman of the Commodities Fund, and finally Daniel Juma Omondi, Africa Regional Representative for the Global Peace Foundation. Gentlemen, most of you have a lot of work to do ahead of 2027. Daniel, you know that?
Yeah, absolutely.
You have a lot of work
absolutely, because the temperatures are already rising.
Yes.
Ours is to urge you guys to campaign peacefully. Do it peacefully. We don't want people to die because someone was elected president. We don't want people to die next year because you need to live beyond 2027.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, gentlemen, we have to wrap it up there. The three wise men, they woke up so early. Asante sana for coming. Okay, so we take a break and we come back. We are crossing over to Kisumu. Simon Achola will be talking about combating human trafficking and modern slavery. Simon Achola will be talking to Karen Mwenesi. She is the project manager, Anti-Human Trafficking Project Salvation Army Western Region. That is the Western Spectrum, coming shortly after this break. I'm Victor Lo. Good morning.
Welcome back to Semana Spokes, Bonga na Gava.
Semana Spokes is your platform to query the government, get answers, and understand what is being done in your country and across the nation. It's your time to ask, participate, and be informed. Don't miss Bonga na Gava every Tuesday at 8 p.m. live on KBC Channel 1.
Sikujua mimi nilipinduka na mwana hii kasikia
Nimekuita hapa kwa sababu ya upendo. Ni wakati wa Valentine. Shaishi sasa wewe ni shagi. Krisi Brown.
I dominate. Hata kuwa na kesi ya wasichana wetu nikimwatia hivyo. I will skip. Hii makasiriko yote ni ya nini? Wanafanya kazi kwa kesi ya naona nywele yanakaa hunga. Na hiyo pa. Funga macho.
Ni nani amekuva?
Babe. The love of my life. When you see
Wajaribu toka uniwache.
Kuna mtu nataka mumu. Wewe kuna mtu ovyo. Nyagia kuacha kwa sauti.
Umetoa wapi flowers? Boyfriend wangu amenipatia.
Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with your music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
My name's Jung Kwon-jong. I'm the boss of this entire hotel. My duties include heavy lifting, spreading happiness, and driving fancy cars. And I officially moved into the sunroom. You think you can cut my share of the rent?
Say what?
That day, she walked into my life. Hi. I met the woman of my dreams.
I'll take you home. I got the Maserati.
All the women in the club will be like sisters to me.
Respect is most important in a relationship. If a man doesn't respect a woman, then he's no man.
You add all the brilliant moments, or what we call miracles. Welcome.
In a world where news is ever changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. You're right on time for Good Morning Kenya, the Western Spectrum edition, where we discuss issues that affect people from this part of the country and, of course, at large, the country at large. And, of course, this Monday morning, we are discussing human trafficking and modern-day slavery. Of course, this is an issue that is a menace in this country. And I'll just give you statistics. About 20,000 children are trafficked each and every year in this country. Of course, a bigger portion of that comes from out of the country, but again, the other chunk comes from this country. What is really the cause of that, and how do we, again, navigate through that situation to ensure that indeed we remedy the situation. To take us through exactly what we should be doing today or what the government should be doing is Karen Manesi, who is the project manager of a anti-human trafficking project that is actually domiciled here in the western part of the country under the Salvation Army Western Territory. Karibu sana, Karen.
Asante.
Yes, Karen, 20,000 children being trafficked in the country every year. That is alarming.
Yeah, it's a number that is alarming, and even as in the project and the project practitioners, it's a challenge we've always experienced in a way that Kenya is known as destination and a transit area where children are trafficked in Kenya, and we have other children who come from different countries. Like most of the time we get children from Uganda in Karamoja areas who come along the way to Kenya up to the central part of the country. And I know those are some of the areas where these children go settle. We have children are coming even from Tanzania who arrive in Kenya. Then from there, they make some arrangement for them to move to other different countries. And it is alarming, and the statistics, it is a reality because we've seen it, we've heard it, and it's also in news all over. And these children are taken to different countries for the purpose of exploitation, in a way that like some of them go for Al-Shabaab recruitment. Others, they go even to an extent of working in farms, like overworking. Most of them are even underage, and therefore they experience what you call exploitation. So those
Karen,
are some of the things.
Human trafficking, quite often, before we move into the causes of human trafficking, right? We always tend to look at it as something that does not belong to this country. Can only be practiced away or far away from this country. So what exactly is human trafficking?
Okay. Human trafficking is the illegal movement of people from one place to another, specifically for the purpose of exploitation. That is like the definition part of it. It's a noun. But when we go to the law defines human trafficking as like a movement of people through threats, coercion, and for the purpose of deceptive activities. So when these children are moved from one place to another specifically for the purpose of exploitation, that's what we call now human trafficking or modern slavery. So that is the bigger definition of the word.
What exactly is fueling parents and, of course, people or guardians that are actually closely related to these children and any other person to decide that I'm going to, traffic this child to wherever destination?
The most thing that is fueling this, you will understand that according to the research or according to the statistics, human trafficking is the largest income generating activity after drug trafficking. So it is a business activity.
What's illegal?
Yeah, it's a business activity where people are getting income from it. So what fuels these parents is some of them have engaged into these activities for the purpose of business to earn income. Others tend to think because of poverty, which is the main and apparent cause to these issues of human trafficking, they say it's better if they can sell their children to get some of the income. And some of them say because of the income, the high life nowadays is too expensive. That's why they are now engaging in those activities. So there are so many, before we go into causes, there are so many things that are also fueling this activity. And it is...
What are these things activity?
One is the poverty, as I've said, and poverty is the bigger part of it. The second one is unemployment. And the third one is we have illiteracy. Like most of our people are lied to. Some of them, they don't have this information of modern slavery. So they're lied to because of the high literacy level they have. We have the wars. We have the political instability. Like I can give an example. In 2007, you knew what happened in our country. We had a lot of issues, especially in areas of Nyanza, Eldoret, western part of the country. You remember people were running just looking for the security purposes. So those are some of the areas that leads to this children or these people to be trafficked, because we will get there is disorganizations in the family patterns. Like fathers are running for their safety, children are running for their safety, mothers are running for their safety. So you find that all people are at risk. They can be trafficked and they will experience such an issue. When it comes to wars, you've seen what happens in even Mount Elgon and any other war that is in place. And then those natural calamities, they are also fueling this. They lead to modern slavery and human trafficking. We have the domestic violence in our houses. For instance, if a lady goes through a lot of torture, some of them tend to be vulnerable, and if somebody comes in and promises maybe a job somewhere, they would rather go for that instead of staying in that marriage that it has a lot of exploitation and all that. So basically, those are some of the things that are fueling these issues of human trafficking, and that is why we see our people are vulnerable to it.
1,000 children. When you break it down per day, that is when you divide it by 365, you get around 50 children per day. In an hour, those are around 3 children per hour. Yes. That in itself is a big number that can't go unnoticed by our authorities. What exactly is happening?
What is happening is there is a lot of corruption. There is a lot of bribery.
Corruption and bribery keeps rearing its ugly head, basically in everything.
Yes, it's by day in everything. For instance, what we fail to understand is how can children move all the way from an example from Karamoja areas in Uganda to Kenya, entry point, maybe Busia border, then from there to those central part of the country. Don't you think that is an alarm that even those people, the practitioners at the immigration office, there might be something that is happening that for us we don't really understand. So it is something we need to look into it, and we are also calling upon the national government so that we can see if we can come together and start rescuing or saving our children, because that is a number that is alarming. We have issues of bribery, as I've said. For example, if I can say, I have a case currently. We had 2 grandparents. They wanted to, a grandfather and a grandmother, they wanted to sell a child just for the purpose of cultural practices. And they were taken to court. In fact, the village elder is the one who reported this parent. But what happened, they were taken to the police station. And then after some time, there was a negotiation in a way that they came out with bond. So that one is also a challenge, because if the law is clear that if somebody is found in issue of trafficking, they're supposed to stay life sentence in jail or to pay 3 million or 30 million so that they can come out of this. Now you see, this is a parent who is selling a child at 150,000, and then a fine is around 30 million. You see, that is something that will even discourage. It's something to fear about, because the charges are very expensive. So as a country, we need to see how are we going to get out of this corruption, how are we going to get out of these issues of bribery. At the same time, not only corruption and bribery, even our own parents, we tend to sell our children or to give out our children, or even us ourselves, because modern slavery is not only for children. It is for both genders, men, women, and even children, both girls and boys. Even parents, we see, they're also getting involved into this, knowingly and unknowingly, especially if we have young girls who've given birth to children and then they want to go and look for income. You see, the parents tend to tell them, go and look for income so that you can raise this child. Yeah. So it is an area of concern. So we need also to talk to them so that they can see the side effect of it and all that. And then also,
when you talk, they want to, you have a case currently, handling a case of parents wanting to give out their child over or sell their child over cultural beliefs and practices. What exactly do you mean?
Yeah, cultural beliefs is when we did that research, we go to the ground and talk to these families. Like we have a place in areas in Migori where they tend to believe you get a young child and sacrifice, you'll get gold. So this young girl was being sold, a 3-year-old girl was being sold to somebody who was looking for the gold. You see, that one is something that is weird, something that is not auguring well. And also we should put in mind that there is no selling people, it's not a legal business, it is illegal. So that is why it is becoming rampant each and every day. This is an innocent child being sold innocently. She can't even defend herself. So those are some of the things.
Some of the things. Just listening to what you're saying, and especially, of course, when some of these victims and perpetrators of human trafficking end up in police custody and, of course, in courts. What is coming out is that the laws are there. And some of the safeguards in those laws are very punitive. Why is it then that, this trade continues to flourish, despite the fact that the laws are there, the safeguards are punitive, and they're supposed to be discouraging people to engaging in this illegal trade? However, as we rightly said, and of course looking at the trade, at the statistics, the trade continues to flourish.
The trade is continuing to flourish because, after this couple is out on bond, we had to go further a step and ask why, and they literally tell us they have a right to go to pay some bond, some little money to get out. It's a right, and even according to the law, it is a right. You see, that one is a small amount of money, and it is a business that's why it's also encouraging this business to continue moving on. So to me, I feel like if we can come up with a policy, like you'll notice in the Ministry of Education, we have a law that is covering the issues of education. But after some time, we had a policy that is making things like easier, neutral for them to handle matters to do with education, and that's why we have the free education. We also had a policy in the health sector. So to me, I felt if we can come together with the partners and come up with a policy that is lightening up things to handle such issues, it might augur well, it might work well with us.
Karen, we have laws, existing laws, and from your presentation, you are clearly saying that this country does not lack laws. It actually lacks the willingness to actually ensure that those laws are enforced.
Yeah, we have laws.
However, many policies that you're actually going to put in place, how certain are we that even as we strive to ensure that stakeholders in the sector come together, players in the sector come together, so that then we can actually come up with better policies? How sure are we that they're actually going to be enforced, given that already what we have, and which is very punitive, because if you're supposed to pay 30 million shillings, and life sentence, or whichever amount of years you're supposed to spend behind the bar, then what exactly needs to be done? Because the policies and everything we put in place will have very beautiful papers. What needs to be done so that then we can actually put to rest some of these issues?
What needs to be done is, one, we need to also engage the community members, like we need to do training and awareness, because I remember before starting this project in 2018, we did a research. And this research shows that people don't understand exactly what human trafficking is and modern slavery, and even some of them, they don't even understand where there is a law that is safeguarding their lives. So the first thing we need to do is educate. We do training and awareness to the community members. And when we are training them, we work with the area chiefs. And these are now, they report to the county commissioners. And then they are the ones now to put this motion ahead, because when we start from the grassroots.
Basically ensuring that each is actually involved, yes.
Yeah, is actually involved and is aware about the same issue. That one is going to help us to a larger percentage. And then we also need to bring those people who have undergone such scenarios, like the survivors, we call them the survivors. Like they need also to come up openly and even explain some of the experiences that they've been going through. Actually, for us who are in this field, sometimes we feel traumatized. And even to some extent, you go through guiding and counseling because we are handling cases that are very pathetic, cases that are very sad, cases that are discouraging. So when we bring them on board, they can speak up their minds so that the society will understand what people go through when they are trafficked. And then we have those like the issue of organ removal. You know, I always tell people, organ removal cannot be done by a layman's person. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medic, but organ removal is done by a doctor. This is a professional doctor, so they can get an organ and maybe sell it somewhere or give it to a certain individual. And all this is business. So that's why we are just calling upon, when we hear even from the survivors, we put them on board with the government, with those stakeholders. We hear the views. Actually, we are going to implement that law so that we can continue even saving our people. Then we also need to have the increased collaboration, the collaboration part of it. We have people who are working for the safety of people. We can get the security personnel. We can get other NGOs who are now coming up with the livelihood issues, like in the agricultural sector, who are coming up with activities so that you can also help the entire community so that they cannot fall trap into this. So when we put our minds together in relation to that, I know actually we are going to do something. Not only just coming up with a paper policy, but a policy that is also safeguarding the entire people to help reduce issues of modern slavery.
Karen, the most worrying bit from what you're telling me is that even at times parents do not know that their kids are actually being exposed to human trafficking and of course modern day slavery. Worst of it all, even the victims themselves are not even aware that they're actually going through the same. How then do we navigate in terms of ensuring that one, the awareness is at a level where parents know there are laws, but two, also the injustice that actually follows in terms of their children or their loved ones actually being exposed to trafficking and modern day slavery.
Now, for example, I can give this, and to the Salvation Army, Kenya West, it has worked for us. Like when we always have stakeholders meetings, and we also have meetings with the community members. As I initially said, most of the community members, community level, they didn't really had a knowledge on modern slavery. So we came up and we've sensitized the community. We've given them information, they're aware. And we also go to an extent and tell them, actually, there is no scholarship, like those ones who are lured with the scholarship. There is no scholarship that is coming to the country, that children are supposed to go to Australia for education, and the Ministry of Education is not aware. So the best thing they should do is they go even to the Office of Education. They do some inquiries. Do you have this existing scholarship for pupils who are going outside? Same applies to the labor. What is the role of labor in our country? How comes labor jobs, labor ministry, and the department? How can jobs come in, like in the country? We are advertising that we have jobs that we need over 30 youths who are traveling to Poland, over 80 youths who are traveling to Saudi Arabia or Qatar or other countries. And even the Ministry of Labor, they don't have that information about that. So what we tell them is it's better if before they apply for this job, they should consult even Ministry of Labor to find out whether this job is also existing or it is not there. And then I remember when we had a stakeholders meeting with the Migration Office was one of the participants in the meeting. They were telling us, for them, their work is to issue the documents for people to go outside. It's none of their business to do a follow-up, where am I going? Because I need a passport, I need a visa, I need to travel. So it's not the role of the Immigration Office to follow up where I'm going. But when we do this to the community level, before they start it off, actually it will help them rather than falling trap into these danger zones. So those are now some of the things when you are engaging the community, ensure that they have information, and also we also need to give them even a solution, because some of them will tell you, if my child sits here with me, where do you expect me to get income? So it is something that we engage them, we give them the reality, we give them the real scenarios that are there, and also tell them on how some of the reporting channels, if they, in case they encounter such a situation.
These opportunities, of course, are quote-unquote opportunities, because that is where, of course, we find our people actually being lured into slavery and, of course, human trafficking, are packaged as job opportunities, are packaged as scholarships, as you've rightly put it. But the most worrying bit is that most of these opportunities and scholarships are actually done in secrecy. That if I come to you and I tell you that there's an opportunity in Qatar or in this particular country, you don't want even your relatives to know. You want to do it in secrecy, because this is a lifetime opportunity.
Yes, and that is the bigger challenge we also have. It is done in secret. And all these professionals for about 80 years, we've seen survivors, but we've just come across, like, that's the one family that was selling the child. But we've seen survivors. So it is very hard for us to see the traffickers themselves, because they use the channels. According to the research we have, they tend to communicate. Like, somebody goes to a village, the way you said, with a packaged job opportunity, well addressed, yes, well addressed and all that. They send somebody to a community. They do the mobilization with the involvement of even the area chief and even the village elders. Then from there, they do some recruitment and all that. Then this agent hands over to another agent. Then from one agent to another agent. So from there, we have what we call regular and irregular migrations. So regular it's a way we know that there is this proper movement. Like, you can trust this individual and bring this individual back to Kenya. But irregular is the ones we are talking about. We are doing it in secret, because if I'm looking for a job, I need to go for a panel that is open. I've also told even my parents to pray for me. I'm going for an interview and all that, and even some of my friends. But now you see, this is done in secret. It means it is illegal. So we need also to enlighten ourselves. How comes it is done in legal, and I'm going to Qatar, I'm going for greener pastures? People will always believe. So that one shows it is an illegal thing. So we also sensitize them. Anything that is done behind the curtain or anything that is done in darkness, automatically it is illegal.
There are many questions on it. Yeah. We will be discussing the research that your organization did, especially on the western bit of the country, right after this break. And of course, viewers, stay tuned, because we'll be coming back shortly after this break. That opportunity that is well packaged, that beautiful opportunity that is well packaged, that you are hiding away from your friends, relatives, and of course family members, that you are going to the foreign country for either job opportunity or a scholarship, might actually be your direct ticket into slavery or being trafficked. Keep it here. We'll be back in a short while.
In a world where news is ever changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible
Yes.
to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
Halo, nimekuja na tangazo.
Hapo staki kusikia.
Hii nyingine moto sana. This is how we do. Yeah, chill, lay back, straight, starting, yeah, we do it like that. Zaki moto. Do. This party, Zaki moto. Hello, Friday. Baby, you've got a long time. You just made me. Ni furaha.
Well, thank you very much and welcome back. We move into the second phase of it, and of course we want to look at the hotspots in this country. Western part of the country is of course a hotspot, and mainly because of organ removal and of course child labor. The coastal part of the country comes in because of sexual exploitation and human trafficking. The person rightly in charge of that docket is actually here, and of course she'll continue to shed more light on why, of course, we are experiencing those challenges in this part of western part of the country. You did a research, and quite telling that these vices are rampant in Malaba, Busia. Of course, Malaba is also in Busia, Malaba border, and of course Busia border point is Sibania, that is in Migori. That paints a picture. What is that picture?
Okay, thank you. I can give a brief overview on the research that we did as the Salvation Army Kenya West Territory. Before implementing this project, what we did is we did a short research, and we did a research in about 8 counties. That is Eldoret, that's Uasin Gishu, Bungoma, Busia, Migori, Kisumu, and Kitale. And after doing this research, we noticed that some of the hotspots areas were Eldoret, Bungoma, Kisumu, specifically partly in Kisumu town, and also in Sondu areas. As we will understand, Sondu is a border area which is covering several counties, that is Kericho, Homa Bay, Kisumu, Kisii, thank you. And then it's also a hotspot area. We also discovered that Isbania, that is areas of Isbania and Kehancha, and also Migori and Malaba, which is in one county, and those are now border areas. So in first one of the projects, we decided to start with the destination places, and this was in Sondu, Bungoma, and Eldoret. you will realize that the road from the highway from Malaba, it goes up to, it's in South Africa or somewhere there. So this is like a way people are trafficked from all the way to different countries. They pass along that route. Most of them settle in Bungoma, and then others go as far as settling in Eldoret as they are moved to other countries as they move. So that's why we said it's better if we can start with those areas. After now doing that for the last 3 years, that is 2019, 2020, 2021, and then partly in 2022, this one now came to our attention that we now need to start covering the borders to see how are the movement first, because before handling something you need to know the cause of it so that you can see how you can get the solutions to that. Now we moved to Migori, and in Migori we've been in areas of Hispania, and then we've been in areas of Malaba, and also in Busia. So these are hotspot areas because those are borders. And the challenge we have is we've only focused on the gazetted borders. We've forgotten the porous border part of it. Like Busia is very porous along
the illegal border points.
The illegal border points. That is where people move from Uganda, they come into Kenya, they move as far as they can, they pass through even the Oaxaca areas, and then in Tanzania, all the same. It's the border is porous. People move from Hispania or from Tanzania to Kenya along up to the Kehancha areas. And Kehancha is like a place where people tend to hide. Like they go settle there as they now start looking for places now to go and all that. So that's...
That they are holding spaces, basically warehouses for people as they're actually being transported along the trafficking corridor or that particular road, right? Where exactly are they kept? Where are these warehouses? Are they specifically people's homes? Are they specific areas, buildings in urban areas, or where exactly are these people held?
These people are held like, we don't have an exact warehouse, but what they do is they come in the name of a job. They are attached to hotels. Then from there, after a short period of time, they are moved to another place. Then from there, as they move further and all that, because they just give a period of now getting the documentation, what it entails and what it involves. And after talking now about the documentation, if you want to know this is illegal, sometimes they tend to tell you like you need to, they will provide all those documentation and all that for the ferry. As I always give an example, personally I cannot take a flight every now and then. I'm going to Nairobi and all that because it is too expensive. Where are these people getting some money to sponsor over like a large number of people to move them from one country to another, if not like an income that is giving them some large amount of money? So we don't have exact the warehouse they go, but they are attached to hotels. If you will observe, they'll go like in the name of jobs somewhere and all that. Then you also have agents. What you need to know that is that we have agents in all these counties where we are. We have agents. We can have even 10 agents here in Kisumu town. So people will come and settle at my place, maybe for a period of time. Next time they will go and settle in Nakuru, and then the other time they'll go and settle to another area. So it's like an organized crime. Let me put it a better word. It's an organized crime that sometimes noticing it is very difficult. Yeah.
Busia, of course, along the route.
Yeah, along the route. From Busia, they come and settle in Kisumu. Then maybe from Malaba, they come and settle in Bungoma. Eldoret, as they now organize for the travel passports and all that. Yeah.
You raised a very pertinent question just before we went for the break, and you said some of the people that are actually involved in this trade are not ordinary folks in the village. One, well-educated, well-connected, and I'm just citing an example of that diplomat Uganda in UK, who was actually found to be holding one of the relatives against her will for, modern day slavery, right? And that, of course, tells us people that are actually involved in this, in terms of organ removal, in terms of falsification of documents and acquiring of documents, in terms of just planting them in different hotels as they move, are people that are actually well connected. So then moving forward, how do we ensure that we can actually break this racket? We can actually bring to a stop this vice in a way that is decisive and decapitating?
Yeah, first of all, we need to address the law enforcement to come in and help. Like, we address the gaps that are there, because as we've said, the laws are there, but now it's just like addressing them to see how we can work together and curb these issues of modern slavery. Actually, the trend is changing day in, day out. It is human trafficking, the illegal movement. Now it is becoming in as a modern slavery. Initially, they used to recruit. They come in a village and say, we need people to go and work in Mombasa. We need people to go and work in a certain area. But nowadays, they're also using the drug. Sometimes somebody just comes in and they give you drugs, and that's all you will get yourself in Mombasa. Maybe all the way from Western region, you'll get yourself in Nairobi and all that. So now it's just addressing the law enforcement to see how we can address the gaps that are there, so that to help our people in the communities. Then the capacity building of the community members. Let us also do what you call the capacity building. Then another thing, we also, for the solution purposes, we also now need to come up with a better solution. Like, somebody will tell you, I'm looking for a greener pasture because I'm looking for a job because I don't have any income and already I have a family and all that. So we need to come up with the things that are like the livelihoods. How can we help even the community members, like addressing the issues of poverty, addressing the issues of unemployment, like in terms of coming up, how can we make use of the resources that are available? And that is what we encourage even the community members, because we can say the government is there, the Salvation Army is there, other NGO maybe can be there to help, but resources can never be enough. So it's a matter of like putting together what we have and seeing how we can help our community members.
We are getting a number of questions from our social media handles. And a colleague, Philip Miyawa, has just asked a very pertinent question here. It says the red flags. Parents and potential victims in our villages, in our homes who are actually watching. What are the red flags that you can actually tell from the beginning and say that this is not an opportunity but a trap?
Yeah, one red flag is, like as I've said, the community should first of all should own like a child. If this child is going for a certain job and yet it is being done in secret, so that is one thing we should now understand. Two, let us be brother's keeper in a way that it's weird. People will tell you, in the neighborhood, this person keeps on having visitors every now and then. You receive different visitors and all that, but you need to have brotherhood. I cannot have visitors every now and then. People are coming in, new faces, new and even the surroundings. Sometimes it's like a red flag to some extent. And then also the line, like the job opportunities that are coming up. Take an initiative of finding out, like just consulting. It's not a matter of death and all, because you've said relatives tend to come in and lie to our people, and then people do just follow up because of their desperate. Let us not look desperate to some of the opportunities that are well packaged, because they always say all that glitters is not gold. So people look at it and say, this job is in Qatar, this job is in America, and they're like excited and all that, and then they fall trap into it. So we learn who is coming, who is our surrounding. Let us understand it better. And also things that are done in secrecy. And also another thing is just consulting. Do more research on how comes this and this is happening, or this job, is it okay? So, yeah, something like that.
Viewer from Mombasa, she's called Nelly Kazungu. She agrees with you that corruption is a major issue, and she asks, why is it that whites who, hide under the cover of tourism come into the country, and most of them are engaged in this illicit trade, but none of them are actually arrested? Yes. Yes. So,
Pardon?
yes, she says that how come that whites that actually come into the country under the cover of tourism, however, they are actively involved in this vice, but none of them gets arrested, or we don't get to hear them being taken to court over the issue of child or sex exploitation.
Yeah. It is true. That is also the corruption I was just mentioning. People come in the name of tourists, that nothing is being done, and that's where we say, to some extent, the law has broken. Yeah, it's there, but partially it has broken to some extent, because it is happening. Things are there. They're in the media. They're all over. The exploitation is being done. But now the challenge is there is no initiative that is being taken. So corruption. Let us deal with the corruption part of it. Our cry is ever the corruption part of it. Yeah, and even as the Salvation Army, being in this, being an implementer of this project, that is the main thing that has always disturbed me all along. We advocate, we run up and down to the courts, we stand in the gap, but at the end of the day,
hope. Let us move into the last phase. We just have about 10 minutes now. I know you'll be shocked that we've already done our hour, but we just have around 10 minutes, right? And we're moving into solutions, because we cannot identify a problem, cry about it, and there's no solution, right? So in this case, you are coming up with a number of solutions, especially for the victims and the parents of and the guardians of the victims. What are some of the solutions that need to be put in place so that then, of course, we avert this problem from the very basic level?
The first solution I can do in terms of survivors, when we get these survivors, let them be like a center point. Let us take good care of them. Let us take them through case management so that they can also see life again.
Because some of the experience are horrific, right?
Yes.
And we don't want to go to the life experience, but just to continue.
Yeah, they're very horrific, so we need to do what we call case management. Another solution is, and let us also ensure when we are engaging the community, I will always cry about the community being a social work and all that. Let us ensure that the community is owning this initiative. Like, we need to protect one another in relation to these issues of modern slavery and human trafficking. Then let us also do a lot of capacity building, and this capacity building is supposed to be done all the way to the government offices, down to the community level, and also to other NGOs that are also fighting such issues, because I know even UN is also taking lead in this, so we can come together and also provide this awareness and sensitization. And then we also need to look at the causes. What are some of the causes that are leading to human trafficking and modern slavery? We start addressing those causes. If it is an unemployment, yes, if it is an employment, let us look for jobs. Let us also engage these youths. Let us engage our people. And apart from it, I always say, life is how sometimes you take it. Let us not focus to the greener pasture that will end your life, the rest of your life. You can also make use of the available resources. Engage yourself in farming as you look for jobs. Engage yourself in even planting of crops, keeping of animals, keeping of poultry, beekeeping. There are so many activities that you can also engage ourselves in it. But now the question maybe can come in, how can we maybe in terms of capital. So when we sit down with the government, with the NGOs that are in place, we can see a way in which we can also help our community members. So let us look at the cost. And then from there, when we see the cost, we can now start addressing the cost.
Also for attitude change, because you as you rightly put it, a well-educated child in Kenya tends to believe that they can only get a better job outside this country, that they can only do a better, they can only have a better life outside this country. There's need for us to change that attitude and actually start embracing opportunities that there are in this country, right?
Yes, that's very true. We have better opportunities here in Kenya. It's just a matter of time, and it's a matter of how are we carrying ourselves to that. Because hey, what is in Uganda is the same as here. What is in Tanzania might tend to be the same as here. In America, it depends. Let us not look. It is peer influence again. People, peer influence. Why? My friend went to America and she owns everything and we were in the same school, same age. So let us not focus on what other people are getting, but let us focus on what can we do better to change our life. Like we call it attitude change. Attitude, let us change the attitudes towards employment, because if we don't talk to our youths, if we don't talk to the people who are learned, sometimes it might be even a challenge.
You talked about the need to involve everyone in terms of the basic administration level, at the very basic level, right? Yes. Going all the way up in terms of ensuring that we watch what is happening in the villages. We are our brothers' keepers and sisters' keepers, and we monitor what is actually going on in the villages and these opportunities that tend to come in the villages, right? What else do we need to do so then we strengthen that channel to a level where we will be able to pick out those red flags and actually ensure that those that are actually involved are brought to book? Partnership. Yes. So,
yes. Partnership is very important.
Yes.
Yes.
Partnership.
So all those parties or all those organizations that can come in and we work together. I know we have organizations that are fighting poverty. How can we work together to address this issue? We have organizations that are working with against illiteracy, like our children go to school, they get education and all that. How are we going to work together so that we can also change their minds? So partnership, collaboration, networking is very important. It's also going to help us in this.
Days when, a child was a child of the community. Not saying that because Karen ameamua kupeleka mtoto wake ng'ambo, huyo ni mtoto wake. We are not going to ask the pertinent questions, right? Or even the parents will say, huyu ananionea hivi kwa sababu mtoto wangu anaenda ng'ambo.
Yeah, it's there. It happens. But, and that's why you are saying, you get an opportunity, you do it in secret way, and you end up in problems. And I will say this, for instance, I always tell the community members, not all the opportunities we see, they are good. And if you see, say, what has worked for me can kill you, for sure. Yeah, so I can go to America, get a good job, take good care of my parents. Then somebody else will go to America, he or she gets a job, the end result might be pathetic. So we can never be the same. And also let us not look at things like, I want to be like somebody else. Let us focus on who we are and what we are in position to do, or what we are capable to do. Yeah.
Let us talk about these jobs that we are being told, our relatives, our friends, and everyone keeps telling us about, that are not gotten through the right channels, foreign countries. Those are red flags. Yes. How can we bring to a stop this exploitation? Because going to an agent, damn expensive. And some of those agencies are very crafty, right? Getting that opportunity through the government channel is also very difficult, right? How then do we ensure that even those that actually want to go outside the country are landing in the right hands and not in the hands of exploiters.
That's why I said we have two types, irregular and irregular migration. Most of our people who have been trafficked, both children and adults, they're through relatives. Relatives have played a largest percentage in trafficking our children. They come in and like somebody else for just for the purpose of connection. So you see, they earn through these people, and then they leave your child to go. So me, what I can advise is let us be very careful when we are giving out our children to our relatives for them to get them jobs. Let us also be very careful because it has caused more harm to the families than good. Yeah, I always discourage, they look at it because once you've gone through irregular migration, your chances of coming back in the right way, they're very minimal and they're very difficult because tracing you is an issue. But if you go through regular migration, tracing you is easy because they say she was from Kisumu to Nairobi, then from Nairobi she went to this. The documents, the documents have not been confiscated, so you are safe in case of anything. But I'm calling upon even our people, let us not rely on these issues that are coming. They normally say behind the curtains. Yeah.
Last word before we finish up, just 30 seconds, please.
Thank you. Thank you. My last word is, for me, I thank the Salvation Army, Kenya West Territory, for coming in with this initiative of helping our community members so that they can be out of these dangers of modern slavery and human trafficking, and also for the communities that we've taken through the training and awareness, and the survivors we've supported, and the partnership we had with the government. So far, so good. We can see the results, and we are praying hard. Through more collaboration and intervention, we are going to go far. Thank you.
Great. That is Karen. I'll just read two comments from our viewers. I'll read from Dolphin from Migori. She says she went to Egypt, courtesy of a friend, and what she saw there was exactly what we've actually been discussing here. She says she worked for a year, and after a year, she realized that the money was not enough in terms of taking care of her people at home. Eventually, she had to run from where she was, and she suffered for 3 years before she eventually managed to come back to the country. We also have David from Busia. He says that he's currently following up on a case where a relative was taken by another relative, and they cannot trace their relative. Of course, that is a story that we'll want to follow up. Of course, there are a number of comments that are actually coming in that, of course, speaks to the fact that this is a topic that needs to be discussed further. You can continue, of course, sending us your views and comments on that topic, courtesy of my social media handles. That's Achola Simon across all social media platforms. You can also do so through KBC Channel 1, and we can also do so through Mayenga FM platform. Of course, the digital platform, we've actually been using it to broadcast this live, of course, on behalf of each and every person who's actually made this show possible. Karen, thank you very much for coming. Our operators, Martin, Christine, and all the interns are actually here to see how we do this production. And of course, the management of Mirage Palace Hotel that continue to give us space, then we can actually do this show every Monday morning. Thank you very much. I take you to Vivian Ndegwa for our continuation of our programming. And of course, we are heading straight into Family Matters. Take it away, Vivian.
sikujua mimi nilipenduka na mwana hii kasikia vup.
Nimekuita hapa kwa sababu ya upendo. Ni wakati wa Valentine.
Shaishi sasa wewe ni shagi. Chris Brown.
I dominate. Hata kuwa na kesi wasichana wetu nikimwatia hivyo.
I will skip.
Hii makasiriko yote ni ya nini? Wanafanya kazi kwa kisiagi, tunaona nywele yanakaa unga. Na hiyo pa. Funga macho.
Ni nani amekuva?
Babe. The love of my life. What you see?
Unajaribu kutoka uniwache.
Kuna mtu nataka mumu. Ameona kuka mtu ovyo. Nyagia kuacha kwa sauti.
Umetoa wapi flowers? Boyfriend wangu amenipatia.
Halo, nimekuja na tangazo.
Hapo rasta kikusikia.
This is how we do, yeah. Chill, lay back, straight, starting, yeah, we do it like that. Rocky Motos, do. This party's Rocky Motos. Hello, Friday. I've been waiting for you for a long time. You just saved me. Live for life, okay.
My name's Jung Kwon-jong. I'm the boss of this entire hotel. My duties include heavy lifting, spreading happiness, and driving fancy cars. And I officially moved into the sunroom. You think you can cut my share of the rent?
Say what?
That day, she walked into my life. Hi. I met the woman of my dreams.
I'll take you home. I got the Maserati.
All the women in the club will be like sisters to me.
Respect is most important in a relationship. If a man doesn't respect a woman, then he's no man.
You add all the brilliant moments, or what we call miracles. Welcome.
You are just in time for our next conversation. That is on Family Check right here on Good Morning Kenya. And our conversation today is on the cry of aging parents. And there's a book here that has influenced today's conversation. And the book is titled exactly that, The Cry of Aging Parents. And we will be looking into that, just trying to see, have we neglected our aging parents, or what is happening? What exactly is driving that? There was the question that I had posed to you that is also right here on the book. It says, how comes two parents are able to take care of 10 children, but 10 grown-up children are unwilling to take care of 2 aging parents? That is the question that is being posed, and we will be getting into that. Lucky enough, we have the author of the book in studio with us. That is Samuel Irongo Njao. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And then right next to Samuel, we have Pastor Paul Blessing. Pastor Paul Blessing is the director, Star with Paul. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And then we also have Bishop Jeremiah Palanyo, and he is the Bishop Hope for All Nations Churches, Naivasha. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, viewers.
All right, and these are the people that will be assisting us in just getting deeper into this conversation that we are having. And I want to begin by just posing the question. You know, from that, the question that I have just, read out from this book, where are we going wrong? And how is it possible that, 2 parents take care of 10 children, but when it comes to now, the parents are aging, they can't do things for themselves. Now, these 10 children, according to the author, and I will begin with you as the author, according to the author, it's not that they are not able to take care of these 2 parents. It's because they are unwilling. First of all, where did this come from?
Oh, thank you very much. I'm the firstborn in our family. And As a firstborn, I felt that I must be a role model. My parents are both alive. My father is now 85. My mom is 79. And why this particular book came into my mind, I saw many parents, especially in rural areas, they are being neglected. Their children have gone outside, others are in America, and that was the genesis of this topic.
Okay. I get you. Pal, from your point of view, have you witnessed the same? Would you say that nowadays, we as the younger people are not looking after our aging parents?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I will say that I think it's a scheme of the enemy, because when you go basically, the Bible says that honor your parent and live long and we shall be well with you. So wellness and long life is catched in honoring those parents. So it just becomes a scheme that people don't know. It's just lack of knowledge, I think, or neglect. Sometimes you find that what we call sandwich generation phenomenon. You find that it's time you are taking care of your family and at the same time you need to take care of your parents. Then you look at them like they are others and your family is main. But let me tell you, the truth is that your parents are your second God. God made one man and gave parents the work to create. Whether your father took care of you or not, so long as he planted that seed, that's why you are seated in that chair. Okay? Whether he went or not, he made you come. So he has to get that honor. Sometimes it comes from emotions, things that happened. But according to me, let us go to the basics. For us to become what we want to become, honor those parents and take care of them.
All right, you brought something up, we'll get into that. You know, for the parents who are totally absent, but now they expect, you know, these children to still care for them. We'll get into that. But I would love to hear from Bishop Jeremiah. You know, from what he said, you know, 10 children are taken care by 2 parents, but now when it comes to vice versa, when it's time for the parents to be looked after, it's impossible. How come?
It's a very sad, and it is a lot of evidence there, and we meet these things every day, and the cry is evident. Aging people are crying and mourning and groaning. And this is not something that started here in Africa and so forth. We go back to the book of Genesis, the beginning of those old fathers you find also was those negligence. I mean, you talk about the father of faith, Abraham. There are a lot of issues. Then you come to Isaac, Jacob, and all through. Even the firstborn of Jacob, by the name Reuben, he slept with the mother by say. So as we are saying, is an issue that is a foundation. It's an issue that started long, long ago. And but now it was not very much a big problem in Africa because our culture was strong. But now the influence of the Western or other places, it has come to affect us. And we need to address this issue because it's really a big thing, it's a big problem in the church. We have now even started those old people, taking care of them. Let me give just a small something happen so that our viewer can really understand that it's something big. Children were here in Nairobi and they left their parents. Their parents is aging, and particularly the father, and then he died in Central. And then when he died, the children came from Nairobi with the big vehicles and so forth. And they come to the barrio, they say the budget is ours and everything is ours. And then the minister who was conducting the barrio, he told them, he just stood up and say, open the casket. They opened, the shoes was there, everything. Then he told them, can you remove one of the shoes of the dead body? Then the shoes were removed, very $1,000 the shoes is a high price. And then the minister was bold enough, he took the shoes, he began to beat them, all of them, beat them on the head. He say, you cannot allow your father, we have been taking care in the church, we are the one who is burying, and so now you are coming with the big suit and the amount and so forth. So it's really an issue that needs to be confronted. It's an issue that needs to be addressed and confronted. And we need to have a conversation in this issue. And I'm glad that we have this one.
Yes, why have we gotten to this point? Or, you know, from what you're all of you are saying is that this is something that is there now. This is something that is increasing. So maybe my question would be, is it really increasing, or is it that now we are seeing it more openly? Has it always been like this, or there's a change, there's a shift that is happening where now the children of this generation are neglecting their parents?
Yeah, if you look very keenly, you find that, as our bishop has just mentioned, is that our African culture was very good. We were really taking care of our aging parents. But because of this modernization, parents are neglected, because kids are able, when they go outside, they don't remember. Now, if you look at this book, I'll just go through in 2 minutes, just to show the way it is framed.
Okay.
The topics are 100. I've given 100 reasons why parents are neglected. The first ones here, if you check, is the physical. If you look at what we call the setup of the book, we have the physical, that is what we see, then what we hear, then the taste, touch, and the last one is smell. Then after that we come to the soul, where we have the five senses of the soul. We have the will, we have emotion, we have affection, and we have imagination. And the last one is on the spirit. That's where our bishops are coming in. Very important, because you can't be a whole person when you don't have these three elements. We have the prayers. We have praise, worship, faith, and meditation. So that is the outline of the book. And the reason why I set up this way is so that we can look at the issue in totality. We are not neglecting any part of this issue.
Okay.
Yes.
Pearl, would you say that one's upbringing may also play a big role in whether they will look after their aging parents or not? You know, as you had mentioned earlier, for some children, you know, or for some people, you've grown up, you've never even seen your dad. You don't even know how they look like. You've never even seen a picture of them. This person has been absent throughout your entire life. And then now you're just being told that, oh, by the way, your dad is so-and-so, and actually he's ailing, he's, you know, now way older, he's ailing, and now it feels like it's a responsibility you have, that you now need to go care for this parent. I mean, it can be hard, you know, because you've never been part of my life.
Yeah, just like Zia said, that is a part is calling emotional.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, and I'll just go basically and say that, as I said earlier, whether they were there or not, there's a blessing that you can pick on the last day of burial, or the last 5 days of his life, which nobody else can give you, even if you met King Charles. What your father who gave birth to you can release to you. That's emotion of that. You never saw him, you left your mother suffered. Let me tell you, relationship with your father and your mother has nothing to do with you and your parents and what you get from them. I'm not trying to defend the man so much, but let us be very practical that life came. And this woman also kept the pregnancy. There's something they did. Okay, whether they took care of you, they were there or they were not there. Me, I want to go to the basics. Life came from the two of them. And that you may have never met them all the days of your life, but you can come and pick everything on the last day. We were sharing with someone before we came here, and they said, and someone had estate and not tell the children. A lot of wealth. Then one day he just called the daughters. They were daughters 3 and 1 adopted son. Then he made a call and said, come all over, all of you, I want to talk to you. He said, I've been chased out of my apartment where I live. One said, my husband not accept. That's a bother to me, that's a bother to me. He said, let me call the adopted. He called the adopted child. Then he came, he asked him, no, let me go with you. He removed an envelope with estates, a will. It was to be given to whoever will show that love. There are those who do not have anything, and there are those who have hidden something, and how you behave is how you get it. Me, I would say, whether he took care of you or not, even if you don't know, seek to know your root. You are only where you came from. Whether you have a, Tanzania wanasemanga baba mlezi, baba mzazi. Kuna baba mlezi amekulea.
Yeah.
Lakini root yako ni mahali ulitoka. There are things that you need to know out of your family. So, to me, whether you took care, they are not there or not there, if there's an opportunity, don't miss that opportunity. It can turn your life around.
Yeah.
That's me now.
What of those children who grew up in very abusive homes?
Yeah.
You know, and they were also being abused, not just that maybe the parents were fighting, but they were also being abused in one way or the other. Unfortunately, there are children who grew up in homes where they were molested by their own parents, whether mother or father. Then what now? You still are convincing them that, you know, it does not matter. As long as your parent needs you, now you need to show up for them. Because when you dig deeper, you may find these are some of the answers you get onto why are we not looking after our aging parents. You'll hear someone saying, I was abused as a child, and this happened over and over inside the home with my father or with my mother. Then what now for such a person?
So I think to me is that we cannot blind our eye. We need to accept that it is true, it happened. And the best thing is to deal, because we have institution that has to deal with these issues, because when foundation is wrong, the whole house will collapse. And because it is something that has been growing in them, because some of them are sons of single mothers and so forth, or others, as we are saying, the father was a drunk, was not available. But then we have schools and we have churches, and then we have this program particularly, and we have other people who God has given them, like our writer here. I think we need to have a round table and deal with this issue, because our society are suffering, even those children, those who are in America, here in Nairobi, well-being. I want to mention a scripture which is very, very... I read a scripture last night when I got an opportunity, when I knew that I'm coming to share this one. In the book of Proverbs, chapter number 30 and verse 17, it says, he who neglected their parents, their oldie or the parents, his eyes will be plucked out by ravens and will be eaten in the wilderness by vulture. When you study about that scripture in the biblical studies, even science and so forth, we have so many deaths that are happening when young people are still young. Or they got a biggie, like in Naivasha. I live in Naivasha, where we have all the big top classes of the vehicle comes in every weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And these are young people, but you know, they get the salary, big money. But when you walk with them and ask, what have you done? They don't have a meaningless, they are meaningless of life. They are just confused completely. So the best thing is to deal with this issue. Let's address the issue, because it is something that's happening. Foundation is wrong. When the foundation is wrong, family is wrong, institution is wrong. Everybody you meet who did not wired in a fatherhood, in a familyhood, in a respect. Even if you given the whole Nairobi, you don't succeed, because you lack the foundation. The house will collapse one day. And what you plant today, you can harvest tomorrow. If you neglect your parents today, tomorrow, believe me or not, you'll harvest. You'll also be neglected.
By your own.
By your own.
There's something also that comes up when you try to look at why maybe this is the case, and that is financial constraints. You know, I think Pali had mentioned, now I have my own family also that I'm supposed to look after, you know, and care for them even financially. And then now there's my parents who I'm supposed to also look after them financially. So that financial constraints, you know, what role does it play in all of this?
Yeah, it's a very serious issue, because really, even before we started this, we had a conversation to have. You see, when you're taking care of your children, it's mandatory. If you don't take your kids to school, you'll be taken to chief. And the chief will tell you, you have forgotten your responsibility. So the money of the school fees, you'll be brought here at my office. Now, should you get some issues later on, you cannot go to the same chief and tell, do you remember? This is where I left my money. He will tell you, by the way, why did you forget yourself?
That's you.
Now, it's a very contentious issue, and that is why I'm very happy for this platform, because it will not only help others, because we are also aging. I'm now 55. I'm 100 years minus 45.
And you are the youngest. Yeah.
Yes.
You are the youngest.
I'm the youngest,
not
yeah. So you can imagine now, if you don't talk about this, what will happen? I'll give an example of a president who, when he was the president, he made that sure that the prisons were well furnished.
Yeah.
And he was asked, why prison? He said, you know, I'm not growing young. So I cannot take, even if I do the kindergarten, whatever, I'm preparing. Anything can happen. I can go to prison. So the same way as we are grown up, we're not supposed just to look at our parents, but also remember that we are also aging.
Yeah.
There's something here, I want just to read the book. When you look at the kids' needs, it is physical. But for parents, when they are groaning and they are crying, it becomes very uncomfortable. Then here, there is this issue of media. Media brings images of parenting. But even this, I wonder whether there is a platform for old people. Everything is very good, family, young. So it is there. We cannot go around up. Then here there is the cry. When a child cries, there is some attachment. But when your parent is agonizing and complaining, now my backache, I need to go to hospital, it becomes very uncomfortable. Then there is the issue of culture, as our bishop has said. Culture is emphasizing on parenting roles only, but there is no platform I've ever seen. And that is why I'm happy for this platform, because we are going to teach people on the role that has been forgotten, because this is a forgotten topic. There's this issue of taste. You find when you are young, your mother was tasting food, but when you are feeding your old parent, you don't even taste. By the way, it is very tasteless. You don't even taste, you just croak and then you give. This issue of hate. You see, when the child is growing, you even mark the ages, because you see that growing, birthdays. There's a lot of hope. But what hope do you have for your 80 years father? It's just death. Actually, you even avoid even going there, because it's reminding you that you're also going to die. There's this issue of touching. You find your child come and hug you at you, it's very comfortable. But you find your parents is there, the same mother that you used to hug and very comfortably, even touching becomes very uncomfortable. When it comes to even washing them and whatever, both the parents and the children are uncomfortable, because they don't want to, because the society doesn't allow that. The issue of smell, when the child is young, you see that smell and whatever, but when you go to your parents, it's only medicine and whatever, so it is very uncomfortable. I'm just giving some of the reasons. There is this issue of a mess. When the child has messed on itself, you remove it very comfortably. But imagine your father here and your mother, you are washing the soiled clothes, very uncomfortable. So those are some of the reasons that you also need to know the society, as the bishop has said. There is this issue of the one you have said about money. I don't believe that money is everything. It's only that they are not willing. So that is what I would say. They are unwilling, not that they are not
capable.
Imagine two parents struggled to educate 10.
But you know, nowadays, people, like with the modernized society, people are not having as many children. So, you know, just going by your example, you've given 10, which, I mean, if you're 10 of you, amwezi shindwa kabisa. But nowadays, people are only having one child, 2 children. Mtu akisonga sana kuna watatu.
Let me tell you something. There's a home of the old somewhere in Nairobi. And some people went to visit and they found a man who said he has 11 children. And they were all alive. But they took that parent to a home of the old. So it is still happening. There are homes of the old. So you find they feel like, instead of taking care of, but you know that is dumping. So that person will die faster because they feel emotionally they were thrown away.
Yeah.
You see?
I was actually to bring up the question or the topic of professional care homes. You know, it's not in our culture really,
But they are
you
there
know,
in Kenya.
but yeah, they are here in Kenya. But no, if you look outside, you know, Kenya in the Western world, that's a normal thing. So do you feel like we are getting at a point where we are normalizing that also here? We are starting to normalize it. And where is the problem in that? I'm trying to look at a situation where you are not able to be present to care for your parent, maybe because of one thing or another. Maybe you are working abroad, you know, so instead of leaving your mom pale ushago kwake, and there's no one to really look after them, where's the harm in you taking them to a professional care home whereby you are ensuring they're being well taken care of? If they have any, you know, chronic illnesses and whatever, there are people who are qualified to look after them there. Where's the problem in that?
There's no problem in that. You know, when there's a reason why they should be taken there, there are those cases that you find, even they sit down and say, let's agree, this is the best thing to do. And you'd find that they are happy even to be there because there was a communication.
Yeah.
But the worst is when it's like you are dumping them. Okay? Maybe you have sons and then maybe the daughter-in-laws are saying, no, I cannot do, or no, I cannot do. And maybe they say, okay, this is the best thing we can do. So that how it, you know, it's about our emotions. Yeah. How you do it, it can be very positive to the parent. And they go there and encourage others. And it can be very negative and destroy them. You see? Yeah. So it depends on how you bring. It's a very good thing because people are very busy and things are there to be done. If it's done in a positive and a way, how you communicate about it and the positivity can cause that person go there and take rest at their own home. Yeah. But that's like you are dumping. Yeah.
So for them not to feel like you've dumped them, also
let
just
it be very professionally
communication
done
as well. I mean, be calling
they
them.
also accept.
Yeah.
And you also visit, communicate, make sure they don't feel like they are dumped. Yeah.
I think to me is that very quickly, maybe three things I've mentioned very quickly. Number one is that my own example, I'm a second born in the family of where my father married 3 wives. And I'm named after the father of my mother. And therefore, I was really mistreated on that aspect. Because of the way I was classified there, that I've married with my father. He mentioned that you are here with your mother, I paid dowry, and you have come to live in my house. So to me, I was not understanding. So I was really tortured and beaten down and so forth. Then finally, my father sold all the property that we had, about 100 acres. He married a wife after the wife. And I was very much wounded. I left home bleeding, sick, and so forth. But then what I can say is that after I became a Christian, and then I met other people, they were assisting me to heal. So first of all, we must be healed our bleeding. We need to find a way of forgiveness. Even if your parents did this and this, or maybe you don't know your father, or somebody is a late comer, was not there in the beginning, now he's coming because you have bought the vehicle. I think we need to approach this issue of forgiveness. We need to forgive. In African culture, we had a system even settling the issue under the tree and so forth. But I think every one of us, we must allow our heart to heal. Healing or forgiveness is important, so that now, because even in the Christian base or any religion, we are advocate on forgiveness. Without forgiveness, we'll dig the world that you follow tomorrow. Number two, we need to make sure that this issue of parents taking them to a home care, if you remove a fish from the lake or from the pot, the fish will die.
It will die.
My mother-in-law died way ago, and then my father-in-law was there, and I went and bleed him. Say, can I buy a land for you where there is more modernization and so forth? He told me, my son-in-law, if you remove me here, I'll die tomorrow. Because taking my kapanga and talking to some elderly around there, area, fellowship, it gives me life. I've been living in this compound, this house, for the last 70 years.
Wow.
Now, this house knows me.
And I know
the
it.
compound knows me. My cow, chicken, and so forth. My mother she's 85 years old. She live with a grandchild. What I did to me, I bought a few chicken to keep her busy. Some goat there to milk. So she around there with goat, chicken, and she's very happy. And at 85 years, she's able to milk the goat and walk around. So I think I can talk to my fellow sons and daughters. Forgive your parents, the past, the pain, and then from there, when you forgive, you are able to do something. Then from there, don't force them out in their environment.
Okay.
So if you're going to move them, let them know maybe in the house, because when you take them, like African culture, believe me, they will die in a short time.
Okay.
And they will die speaking. The things they will speak will hunt you. Yes.
Now I can see, you know, when I look at the clock, we have around 6 minutes to finalize. I would love for us to, you know, you've well put it. I want us to see now how to address this. You have pointed out ways in which we can address it. So maybe from your point of view, how do we address this?
For me, the first one is to educate both the parents and the children, because there is that gap. Whereby even the parents are meant to understand that because of the nature of the society, there are some things that may not go the way it's supposed to be, as Sister has said. Number two is the young people. And that is why I had to write this book, so that I've distributed this to many universities and secondary schools. And it's really helping parents to actually read. Actually, the first person who bought a book was a lady that I met when I was buying an envelope. So she gave to the daughter, and these are the words. Do you see all these things that I'm doing to you? I don't want you to pay, but just remember one thing I did for you. So that lady, even yesterday I talked to her. It was my first time to see her. And I've been trying to very quickly look at what she's doing, and she told me the daughter has now changed. So if we don't tell them
information,
yeah, that's why this we are very happy for this program. I know to reach thousands and millions of people. So first thing is to tell them. Then number two is that we try to amend where we have gone wrong. And I believe if we do that, we shall be able to come up with a better society, because aging is inevitable. Even Jesus said that when you are young, you are going where you want to go. But when you get old, you stretch your hands so that they take you where you don't want to go. It is biblical. It's Jesus who said. So aging is inevitable.
It is inevitable. We are all, you know, headed there.
Let me give you the final one I'll give you of my story like he gave is, me, I never knew my biological father. It happened that I came to know him, and when I met him, in 1 month he died. I went to bury him, and I was satisfied.
How old were you?
I had my family, I think I was 38. I was already, even my last born was born. So God sent a woman, said, your father, you need to see your father. Even described him, how he looks, and I didn't know him. I just, my mother, I called one of his cousins. He told me where, and I went. I found him. My mother is so and so. Do you know me? It's just like salvation. Those people don't know their fathers. I felt good. We spent the whole day talking. Then after that, after 1 month, I called him. He told me, I'm in Nairobi, come and introduce you to my children. One son was in Nairobi, others out of the country. Then he said, this is my daughter. I knew her mother before I knew your mother. We knew each other. It was on a Thursday. On Monday, the guy died. Then I knew my brother calls me, our father is dead. I went to bury him, and I was satisfied. God wanted me to take the blessing.
True.
So, still, whether you saw him, he educated you, there's something that you need. I picked mine, go for yours. Closing.
So it doesn't matter whether they were present in your life or
it doesn't matter. He made you be here. He's the source. A woman has no seed.
Sorry?
A woman has no seed.
Okay, so the man has the seed, so whether your father was there or not.
And he carries the blessing.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah. Okay, we only have 3 minutes. And there's this statement that I want, maybe I'll get just 30 seconds from each one of you on this statement. Someone says, your children are not your retirement plan.
Yeah.
30 seconds on that.
I think your children are not retirement plan, but a brand, but they are your gift. Your children, they are gift, they are encouragement. So we have adapted to pay to encourage our parents, to be around them, and I can just say, sons and daughters, we need to go back. If you know your dad or your mom or is there, just forgive and go back and give them encouragement. Yes.
Yeah, in chapter 5, I've talked about parents as they have been contracted by God. So it's a contract, and you know when you finish the contract, you do what? So if you think the children are your retirement, you'll be disappointed. Yeah. And that's why I gave that example of a chief. If you happen to go to the same chief and remind the chief, this is where I brought all the money, the chief will tell you, I think you have forgotten. Yeah. And that's why even here there is a statement that children will say that we did not choose you as your parents, but you choose the family. Yeah. And that is part of the problem, because you find you have attachment to your family more than your parents. So that's why it is not good to take them as an investment. Okay. And the level of disappointment will be high when they don't reciprocate.
All right, Paul.
For me to close, we have talked about those people who neglect a lot, and we forgot there are those who are taking care. And we thank God for those who are taking care, and they are taking full responsibility and making sure they are very happy and comfortable. So, and to close, I'll close and say this, that however is not an investment plan, a retirement plan for you, at least let me in the house hold like a table like this when I'm praying for you, something that you bought. In my bed, and I'm praying for you. I hold that bed, I say, thank you, God. By this bed, grant us the desires of our heart. What is there to show? Yeah. So because the investment that I gave you life, I gave you life. So I don't depend on you, but you also get something from me. And remember, long life and wellness is captured.
Okay,
Amen.
And this is where we get to finalize this conversation. We have been talking about the cry of aging parents, and you know, apparently now more younger people are neglecting their aging parents. We are not looking after our aging parents, and this is something that should change. And we've heard from our 3 guests right here. It's about time we change that. So how about now we get into it and just try and look after our parents now. Let's end this conversation. My name is Vivian Dagwa. This is Good Morning Kenya. See you tomorrow, same time, and please, God willing.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Are you ready for the next big thing in tech? Well,
will spotlight Kenya's brightest young minds, game-changing startups, and breakthrough technology that are shaping our future. From AI and robotics to sustainable futures, we bring you the stories behind the scenes. KBC Channel 1. Remember, tech starts here.
The 2020 Paralympic Games in Tokyo, where Asiya Sururu became the first Kenyan female rower to compete at that level.
I can say my experience in Tokyo was mind-blowing. I went there with the set of mind that I must come out with something from here. It was like a practice field for me. I know it's the biggest stage and everything, but I knew my chances, so I was fully aware of how far I can go. So I was like, I must learn something. When I qualify to the other Paralympic, that is 2024 Paris, I will not be talking of the same thing like practice. It will not be practice. I will be going there to be a Paralympic medalist. But with the Tokyo, it kind of give me that environment, how it feels like to be in biggest stage with the big people, yeah.
She had barely learned the ropes of the sport when she was thrust into the deep end, and surprise, surprise, she rose to the occasion.
When I was told that there will be qualifiers in Tunisia, I was like, why not? I can do this. It's like I've not been in any competition. I've been in lots of competitions, so like acha niende nikapambane. So I went to the qualifiers while I was still new in the game. Because after finishing the race, I was like, you are the first Kenyan female to qualify in the Olympics, Paralympics. I was like, I am? Am I? You know, those misbelieving moments. Ni mimi? Ni mimi, eh? Okay. Nimeshinda ma nimepita tu. So the people kept on replaying me the video of how I went. I was all over the waters. I didn't know how to row in a straight line, but either way I became fast. I was like, hakuna mwingine amekuja hapo, ni mimi hapo. Those most memorable moments. They're like, unashanga ushangai uko kama uko, and the fact that also I get to be the first female Kenyan rower, and I got to go my first Paralympics, to participate in my first Paralympics. It was mind-blowing. Everyone had more information than me. It's like, you are the first Kenyan female rower. You are going to Olympics. It's like everything. After the race, everyone was telling me everything. Ni kweli? Is it ni hivyo? It was the most memorable moment because it keeps on replaying in my mind. It's like, ni mimi, nimefanya hivi.
The double amputee took part in the one-boat women's single sculls event, where she was placed 5th in the repechage and 12th overall in her debut.
So in the Tokyo 2020, we did our competition they called Forest River. Forest River. it's where we did the competition, and while I was in there at Forest River, what I realized is that I'm here to learn, to be educated, because I was competing with the best of the best. So I knew my chances. I wanted to be like, we've got in rowing, we've got final A and final B. So my mission was to be in final A.
Asia Sururu is a physically challenged athlete who lost her legs in an accident.
Got train accident in 1994, 2 years of age. Yeah, it was midday lunch hours. I was supposed to go from our home to my grandmother's food kiosk. It's from where my grandmother had her hotel to our home. It was like separated with railway lines. So I just go eat. While I was going back home, that's when I got my accident.
It was a double tragedy for her, as her beloved dad could not bear the agony. Her mom was very supportive during all this, but unfortunately, she was called home.
Yes. My family is very supportive. My mother died after the accident, and my father died during my accident. So I'm an orphan, and my guardian, brothers, sisters, they are very supportive.
Physically challenged and orphaned too would have broken many hearts and caused them to despair, but not Asia, who found her strength through sports.
So realization came when I was 18 years of age, yeah? And that's, it's during those adolescence time, I get to understand, like, yes, sasa mimi niko hivi, mwanamke nusu, so what should I do with me? First, ni kujikubali, you have to accept yourself. And then the next thing is, unaji-appreciate, una-accept, including the environment that penye uko. And the question inabakia ni, what will I do? Sasa nimeshajikubali, nini nafaa nifanye? That's it. I started sports while I was in primary school in Portrees for the physically disabled in Mombasa. It's a school there, so every student was supposed to play like all sports, from indoor to outdoors. So that's when I get to learn many of them. And I went to Joytown in secondary school, and there also sports there for the physically disabled in Thika. And then I continue with the marathons while I was at Shanzu Training Teachers College.
She eventually settled for wheelchair tennis, though capable of playing competitively in other sports.
While I was in Shanzu, 2012, I was introduced to tennis by Coach Karanja. There was this tennis courts at Mvita, so I used to practice there during the weekends only. So in 2017, I competed professionally, started professionally tennis in 2017. Yeah.
She has been outstanding in the sport, both home and away, with the Tennis Kenya at the forefront of offering them the much-needed support.
So far, in terms of tennis, there's singles and doubles. So in singles, I've been runners-up in 3 competitions, and I've been in double champion like 3 times. I think 4, 2 in Nigeria, 2 in Kenya. Yeah.
It is an interesting venture for her, combining both the para-rowing and wheelchair tennis, but she's up to the task.
In 2018, December, I got a call if I could try out rowing. And I said, why not? So I went to the water sport. That's when I was introduced to rowing. There were these 2 international coaches, and they were having 2 weeks camp in Mombasa through the water sport. With rowing, it's a very technical game. You can, once you do your mistake at the start, you are doomed. So I usually compare it with badminton. Though badminton is different, but it's very crucial. It's few minutes game, and once you do your mistakes just like that, you're already down. So with rowing, I kind of love it because it brings me that peace of mind, especially when I'm in those waters with my boat alone, and you see water everywhere. You are just having connection with the water, the boat, and you could hear even your heartbeat.
Her initiatives have seen her being nominated for not only the Sawyer Sports Personality Awards, but other initiatives away from home, proving that yote yawezekana, with her notable one being named as one of the top women under 40 in Kenya, just to name but a few.
About that, it was very refreshing. It's, being among those women who are doing great work here in Kenya. It's very mind-blowing. I get to be among them. When you are among such women of such caliber, it gives you a different feeling. And during that time, I questioned myself if I was supposed to be there. Am I the actual right person to be there? It was such an honor, to be among them. Growing from this stage to another, from a teacher to a clerk, agent in Mombasa courts, law courts, and then to brand ambassador, and then to be a member in the council at Sports Academy. Yeah, a big one.
If you have the will, you have the way, as achievements attest, which is applicable in everyday life.
To all fellow disabled persons with disability who are out there, it is very possible to do everything. It's just how you set your mind. It is very, very, very possible. With us, persons with disability, we get to have so many excuses. But once you eliminate the excuses and started doing, you have to try to know if you can't or you can. So eliminate the excuses, try everything, and you have to have self-love, self-belief, appreciate yourself just the way you are. Yeah.
The physically challenged Asia Sururu has proved beyond doubt that there is no limit to what one can achieve despite their limitations, with her remarkable story in parasports. She looks forward to break more barriers in the near future, and we can't help but salute her for her fighting spirit, which has seen her navigate through so many obstacles and sail through at the same time.
I realize about myself is just I've got self-love and self-belief. I believe too much in myself. It's like I have what we call, nyumbani wanasema ni moyo mgumu ama moyo mkunjufu. Niko na ile moyo ya kukazana, kupambana. So self-love, self-belief, and that kind of person that if an opportunity presented to myself, I will take it. I just have to see what's next in the future.